Let's go. There we go, baby. And we are live. We are live with the proper shit today. We understand how to do this. Let's go. We know what we're doing around here, boys and girls. There we go, baby. And I'll mute myself so that we don't have a double talk. We got everything set up perfectly correct today, everybody. If you were here for the Jackson fiasco yesterday, how's everybody doing? We are locked and loaded. That's correct. Gung Fu, how you doing? Wow, the chat is already going today. I love it. We got Charles. Coach Charles, baby. Love it. Someone please explain to Ted what a frugivore is. He doesn't seem to have a clue. Okay, well, we can talk to him about that. If you guys have questions for Ted, post them up here. Ben Elliott, I'm super scared. So Ted is going to the bathroom right now. We are basically set up to go. This is going to be a very professional, high quality, high production value stream. I see him right now. He's locked and loaded on my end over here, but we're going to just do a little intro. Ted, if you don't mind, just for a minute. I'll call you on Google Hangouts in just a moment. Good? Cool. Okay. Shocked. Shocked. He's at the bathroom. I love it. What's up, Irish Patriot? PTSD from yesterday. Shu, I hope you've recovered. My brain. That was a lot of listening for me as well. Thank you for the love, Mattis. Yeah, just the plants, ma'am. Agreed. We can definitely have a discussion and have very differing opinions. Obviously, I think the way that me and Ted eat is probably the most polar opposite from anybody you're going to see on YouTube. I don't think that there's very many frugivores or raw vegans that are willing to talk to carnivores on YouTube. Luckily, I have a personal relationship with a lot of these vegans. Otherwise, I don't think they would even want to speak to me, to be honest. Okay, we're going to let people trickle in. The stream just went live a few minutes ago. Give everybody a couple more minutes, and then we're going to call Ted, and we're going to get the show on the road, okay? Oh my god, the Kelvin Adesanya fight last night. Whew. So I recorded it while I was gone. I know, I wanted to watch it live, but my buddy invited me out to go hit some golf balls, and I haven't been doing too much stuff lately, so I was like, all right, I got to go do this. And came back home. My recording broke in the middle of it, and I had to watch it on YouTube, like the little close-up, zoomed-in bullshit. So I don't have the full quality of the fight, and I really want to rewatch it again. But I did watch it, and it was incredible. I really thought that Stylebender would have put him out in that last round. That was, God, he's so good, man. He's so fun to watch. He's the best. I love him. Yeah, I got to rewatch it. Well, Gung Fu, I think today will be a little bit different. Ted is not that type of a presenter. So we're going to have a different result today, I have a feeling. If you guys want anything for us to talk about today, any topics you want to bring up, I have a lot less prepared stuff to talk about today than yesterday. This is going to be more of an adult's conversation, I think. I don't think we're going to be citing studies. Ted is not a scientific researcher like our friend Plantriotic in the same way, obviously, because the science doesn't support a goddamn fruit diet. So Ted's off on his own tangent over here. He's creating the science just like we are. All right. How many people are in the chat? Okay. We got 43 people in here, and I just created the live event not even 45 minutes ago, so I'm sure a lot of people don't even know this is happening, unfortunately. Ted does have a shirt on. Ted has a beanie on. He's in Canada. Clearly, there's tropical fruit growing everywhere. Oh, he's going shirtless. Here we go. The avocado man. Ted Carr's last video was nuts. Debate that. I made a response to that, and we could probably talk about that as well. We're waiting for Ted. He's actually here. I have Ted here waiting. We're just letting people trickle in. All right. All right. What do you guys say? Press 1 if you want us to go live right now. You guys think we're ready? Need to see some chat interaction today. Press 1 if we're ready, guys. Press 2 if we should let Ted sweat it out in Canada over there a little bit more. He's waiting patiently. I can see him. We got a lot better setup today. Ted is on video with me. He can actually see me so that he doesn't ramble on like Jackson. He can read the chat. If that's how he's got it set up on his computer, it's going to be a much more high quality setup, I think. Ted, do you have a microphone, by the way? Like a one that's up in your face, up in your grill? Oh, yeah, there we go. Is that what you're using? No? Come on. Come on. Hell yeah, get that thing going. There we go. We just upped our production quality tenfold right there, getting Ted on our level. We just upgraded him from fruit to meat. Ted is in reality. Here's the thing you got to understand about Ted. Ted is a very cool, normal guy outside of YouTube. He can hear me saying all this, by the way. So if I don't see you two rubbing food on your skin, I'm disappointed. All right, maybe towards the end we can rub ourselves on. Yeah, Ted is not in the chat yet. He's setting up his microphone, but I do have him on video with me right here. So he is here. We're just he's getting a little bit of prep done, and then we should be ready to go. Make sure that thing is set to your default microphone, Ted, so that when we get on Google Hangouts, it's ready to go. Google Hangouts seems to be the most reliable thing. Like my Skype is busted, so it seems to work. It just works, and that's what we need. Okay, I like that question, Mattis. I'm going to actually write that down because those are the topics that I'm interested in. I'm not interested in all this other studies and science bullshit because nobody who's at our level of education, and that's not a knock on anybody. We're not scientists. We don't know about standard. We don't know how to break down standard deviations. We don't know. What's up, Ted? Cool. We might have to leave that one out of it. Nature Myth Network. All right. I think we're going to call you in now, Ted. Are you ready? Does it look like your mic is working, or do you need another minute? Okay. All right. People are just giving me topics right now, so I'm just stalling. Sorry if this is a little bit not entertaining as it could be right now, guys. I'm writing down a lot of topics that people are giving me. It's good stuff. Because that's what this is going to be. It's going to be more of a discussion. We're not going to be blasting each other with studies and hoping those studies make more sense. And this isn't a knock on Plantriotics debate yesterday, but I don't have a response for those things because I've done the studies and then I put the studies into practice, and that's what interests me. Not so much what the studies say, because when I was a vegan, the studies didn't help me out, even though I believed in them. Okay, here we go, guys. Okay, we got you there, and we are going to transfer over. All right, here we go. Let's get this sized up. We can't be having Ted's window bigger than mine. Okay, good.
Yo, how do I see the comments?
You got to go to my video that's on my channel, and that'll take care of that.
And I can do that on my main computer here, or do I need to open my other laptop?
Make sure you turn down the phone volume all the way.
Oh, yeah.
You got to do that on your laptop. It's just going to be a lot easier for you to see it.
Okay, I'm gonna mute. Well, I want to be able to hear you the whole time. So.
Yeah, but on the phone, just.
Oh, sick! Are we live right now? People can see me and shit.
Yes, we're totally live.
Oh wow! Okay, let me turn my thing down.
Yeah, turn down your phone all the way. And yeah, turn that down all the way.
I think that.
Yeah, turn down your phone all the way. Oh, you need headphones. You need headphones. You need headphones. Yeah, turn that down all the way.
I need headphones?
Yeah, because your speakers are going to be reverberating through the.
You need headphones. You need headphones. All right, one sec.
Cool.
You need headphones?
Yeah, because your.
One sec.
Okay, let's mute that. Hopefully that straightens that out. Okay, so why Ted is kind of cute. Well, you can let him know that. Let's see.
Damn, but I doesn't know any fucking headphones.
Well, it's because your phone is reverberating through, but it's all good. This is the
Maybe
is the
I don't need to
podcast.
see the comments. I'll just shut off the live thing.
Okay, whatever you want to do.
Yeah, screw it. I don't need to see the comments. Hold on. Close this down. All right, dude. So here's the deal. I can see you on my phone.
Mm-hmm.
I can hear you on my phone, and I guess I'm live right now. People can see me and hear me.
Yes.
Test one. We good?
That sounds good. Get yourself away from the camera as much as possible, because there is a bit of a like I can hear myself speaking the whole time.
Okay. How about now?
Check. Way better. Okay, cool. All right, so guys, this is Ted Carr.
Well, I can't fucking hear you. One sec. Where's the audio for you?
Turn it up on your computer.
God damn it, dude! I need some fucking headphones. Okay, I got an idea. I'm gonna go use my Apple headphones.
There you go.
AirPod.
Okay. Ted's figuring it out on the fly, and Ted Carr is a vegan. He's actually Ted. How many years fruitarian are you now? 8, 9?
9.
9-year fruitarian, not just any old vegan. 9-year fruitarian.
Okay, Drew.
Yes.
Talk to me.
Hello.
Talk to me, Drew.
Hello. Mute your phone. Like mute the little button at the top, because we don't need the phone. It's just for video.
Drew, why are you muted? Yo, this is painful.
Here,
sorry for all the people.
Can you hear me now?
We're good. We're good. We're
Okay,
good.
cool. So you're gonna hear me through. You're gonna hear me through the phone. Then we got this rigged up. Don't worry.
Okay, we sick. I can hear you.
Okay, make sure you got that microphone nice and close to your mouth, so we got some good quality sound.
All right, check. Test one.
There you go. Just a little bit further away. A little bit.
Testing. There we go.
There we go. Beautiful. Oh my God, look at that. God, I just upgraded the fruitarian quality. Like, we just went from store-bought fruit to Thailand hand
Evan Rock's fruit. Evan Rock's rabbit hands.
Exactly. All right, there we go.
Evan Rock's. All right, can we get the show on the road, dog? We're wasting people's time here. I don't like wasting time.
Okay. All right, guys. This is Ted Carr. He is a 9-year fruitarian. He is been on YouTube for how many years? 5, 6 years, at least 8 years.
Since YouTube first came out, dog. Like way back.
Ted Carr's channel is quite large. Make sure you follow him. I'll have to put that stuff in the notes, but you can find him as Ted Carr. Do you go by the Fruitarian still, or is it just Ted Carr?
Ted Carr on YouTube.
Fruitarian on Instagram. Okay, Ted is from Canada, west side of Canada, Vancouver area, I believe. He hosts the Canada Fruit Festival every year. Last year was their first year. He's been a member of the Woodstock Fruit Festival for many years, and that whole organization. Basically, this is a cream of the crop, long-term vegan, guys. Somebody who's been doing this for a long time. He's seen 1 million people come and go. Obviously, he's seen a lot of people go, because that's how we know what happens on the vegan diet. But he's recently made some wild claims, and we're going to get to know Ted a little bit better today. Today's going to be, hopefully, we're going to bring some real Ted out for you, because I know the real Ted, I think. And I don't think that YouTube knows the real Ted all the way. Because I had some, I wanted to meet Ted. Ted, to be flat out honest with you guys, Ted was one of the only people that I wanted to meet when I moved to Hawaii. there's a few people that I wanted to meet. Ted Carr, Dan McDonald, and that's probably it. The only other vegan that's ever interested me to meet was Bobby's Perspective, and I haven't met him yet. And obviously he's a carnivore now. Okay. My face apparently has borderline Down syndrome from Jelmer Van Kampen. Okay. Well, better not put your girlfriend in the room with me, boy. I'll take her right off your hands. All right. Ted Carr, welcome to the show.
Yo, who are the mods out there, dude? There better be some vegan mods in the chat.
There's no vegan mods in the chat. So I don't even know if we have any mods in the chat today other than maybe Coach Charles, because this was a last minute situation where we popped this up and did it for the people. This is a people's stream right now. It's a bonus stream. All right, Sunday.
Dog. All right, Sunday bonus stream. We're doing this one for the Lord.
So here we go. Today, let's set the foundation for this. What are we going to do here today? What do you want to accomplish with this stream debate chat?
Yeah. So I want to ask a few questions.
Okay.
Things I'm genuinely curious about. And I want to also come to some agreements of things that we do agree on, because there are a lot of things we do agree on. And I think it's important to recognize those things that we believe to be true. We both believe to be true.
Okay.
And then I also want to let you know my reason for eating the way I do and for never going back to eating body parts of dead animals.
Okay.
And then I just want to ask a few questions, like genuinely curious to know why you're eating animals.
Okay. That's all sounds very fair, and I'm very happy to talk about these topics. So number one, I just want to know, did you watch the response video I made to your video?
No.
You haven't watched that? Okay. That's fine. So maybe we can cover some of those things, and it will be the first time that you're hearing about the things that I bring up in that video, I suppose.
Cool.
So maybe that'll be something that I bring up with you live, and then we can talk about that. So you've called this chat, and I'd like to give you the floor first. Whatever you'd like to bring up. If you want to bring up a topic, a question, anything you'd like.
Sure. So yeah, let's talk about the things that we agree on first. The thing I like about the carnivore diet is that I call it the carnivore diet. I'm guessing the carnivore diet is body parts of dead animals and spinach. Is that right? Leaves.
I would say you've got it mostly right, but no spinach and no leaves. But okay, to clarify for you, hardcore carnivore is meat and water. That's the most hardcore version of it. And there are people who do eat like that. There are people who literally eat salt, meat, water. That's it. And the reason that they do this is for autoimmune disorders. There's people who cannot handle anything else other than salt, meat, and water. And some of them have reported on this. And anytime they add in any plant stuff, they basically have some sort of reaction in their body, like crazy shit happens to them. Really bad stuff. They cannot live their life. So that's one thing.
Okay. So how do you eat? I want to know.
All right. How I eat typically, like I did a video the other day, the perfect carnivore day. What I consumed was a pound of beef for lunch with milk, and I consumed a pound of salmon for dinner with milk. That's like a perfect day. That's like if I was a raw
you ate
vegan.
2 pounds. You ate 2 pounds of food.
Yes, 2 pounds of meat, and then I usually add in some milk. So like I had 4 cups of milk that day, whole milk.
Wow.
Raw milk actually.
Raw milk.
That was raw milk that day. Yeah, I splurged a bit, but no, I don't drink that every day. It's expensive.
From goat titties or cow titties?
They were from cow titties. Yeah.
Okay. Organic?
It was organic raw milk. Yeah, it's $16 a gallon. It's not cheap. I can't afford to drink that all the time. I really can't. But it's very good.
All right. So the thing I like about the carnivore diet, or at least your diet, is that you exclude processed junk food.
Most of the time,
right? Like
most of the time.
Most of the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I do eat stuff. Like I do eat random stuff. Like I'll drink alcohol every once in a while. I will eat candy bars every once in a while. Like I still have a normal ability to consume sort of like off the menu stuff that doesn't affect me too much. And I do those for pleasure.
Okay. Just for pleasure.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, for the most part, you try to eat a natural diet.
Absolutely.
Fair to
yes.
say?
Yes,
Fair
yes.
to
Like
say you
I
try to
believe
use
that is the
natural diet.
healthiest way to do it. Yes, of course.
Okay, so you believe it's the healthiest way. So me too. I eat a natural diet. What I would find to be a natural diet: fruits, some vegetables. Okay, so that's cool. I like that. The other thing is you're doing it again. I think for health. You're doing it because
Yes.
you think it's the healthiest thing to do. Okay,
And
me
I
too.
just
I eat
feel
the
the
way I
best.
eat.
I
Yeah,
feel the best. So
of
it's
course.
important to
I
recognize that you also feel the
absolutely.
best, right?
I think they're synonymous. Yeah, I think health
Okay.
and feeling good should be together.
Well, that's not
So the
synonymous
other
with a lot of
thing,
vegans, though. I do want to point that out because a lot of vegans are not doing well, but they still eat that way because they believe the science is telling them that that is the healthiest way to go. And I don't blame them because that makes sense, right? You're like, my body will adjust eventually. My body will, like, this is the way to go. This is what the science is saying. So therefore, I should be able to eat this way. And then they continue doing that. I just want to point that out to you. Which is
Okay.
why a lot of vegans stay vegan long term, you know? Anyway.
yeah. So you're doing it for the health reasons and to feel good and to avoid any health complications, health issues down the road, or even present to overcome your current issues now that you were having.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. So me too.
Can I
The other
clarify
thing
one
I
thing,
like,
though?
of course, dude.
So I didn't have any health issues when I switched over. I had symptoms of the vegan diet. I want to clarify that. Like, I don't think I was
Okay.
really, I wasn't really malnourished, let's say, or like having autoimmune issues or anything like that. To me, it was the vegan diet, the actual plant fibers themselves were causing me the most amount of issues. And the reason I know this is because when I switched over to meat and then I go back and I consume even a reasonable amount of plants, I get some of those symptoms back. It's like in perfect linear relation to the amount of plant fibers that I eat. I just
Okay.
want to point that out.
Okay. Sure. So you're eating the way you're eating now because you don't want to have issues. You don't want to have symptoms. Got it.
Yes.
The other thing that we agree on is that because I do the same. Yeah, I do the same. The other thing we agree on is that you want to look good. You want to have muscle. You want to make those gains. You want to have those shoulder caps. You want to have those abs, right? You want to have those pecs.
Yes.
You want to have those lats. So I understand. I'm the same way, dude. I like to look good. I like to feel good, and that's another reason why I eat the way I eat, because I just feel it allows me to look good. All right. And a lot of people think, oh, all these vegans, they just want to look good. It's like, who doesn't want to look good? Who wants to look like shit? Hands up if you want to look like shit. Nobody wants to look like shit.
Nobody.
So that whole argument of like, oh, all these vegans, they just want to look good. Like, no shit, man. Everybody wants to look good. Come on, let's be real here.
Right.
So that's another thing. The other thing that we agree on is digestion. Digestion's like the biggest thing.
Yes. 100%.
Right? Like that's the thing you love most about eating the way you eat now, right? It's the digestion factor.
Yes.
And yeah, man, props. That's dope. That's a good thing to seek out. A lot of people aren't even aware of what digestion is. They think if they're gassy or bloated, it must just be like their genetics or something. But no, it's the food you eat. And it's the emotional state you're carrying yourself in as well. That can affect your digestion big time. But that again has something to do with the food you're eating. So that's that. Those are some of the points we really agree on. And we share the same reasons for doing the diet, even though our diets are completely opposite. And this is what fascinates me. Like I was talking to Elise yesterday, and we're saying how like how I'm just curious, like how is it possible to wait? Were you ever vegan for the animals ever? Like, did you ever give a shit about the animals, or did you never give a shit about animals?
I found it to be a very pleasant side effect of eating 100% plants. Like I made that connection about halfway into my first year where I was like, you know what? This is really special that I'm no longer consuming animals. I felt this like higher vibrational frequency from the food, so to speak. And I will say that it brought me a little bit closer to the animals, in that sense. But I was never like, I always gave myself that out to where if I was convinced without a shadow of a doubt that I needed to consume animal foods, that I would go back if I needed to for my health. Okay. So it was always contingent on that fact that I don't need to consume animals. So therefore, why should I? You know what I mean? So I'll be nice to the animals. Why would I hurt them?
Right. So now the question is like, how do you like, do you now support animal cruelty? Like, do you now think it's totally fine to be cruel to animals?
No, and this is something that I did respond to in your video. You were talking about kicking the chicken in the head, and like, I understand that's an extreme example, and I understand, and I would, if I was walking down the street with you and you were smashing a chicken's head with your foot for no reason, even to eat it, I would say that's unacceptable.
Really?
Yes, of course. That's
really
that's
You'd
not
say
an
that's
effective.
Unacceptable.
Yeah, of course
Awesome.
I would.
Cool.
I would.
Good,
I would absolutely say that.
So now,
And I don't. Yeah.
Now my question is, knowing that that's standard practice.
That's not standard practice. That's
knowing that
not
standard
correct.
practice in slaughterhouses.
That's not correct.
Knowing that happens every single day in slaughterhouses to get the chickens to behave properly.
That does not happen every single day.
No. It happens. You just watch it. You just go on YouTube and watch footage of slaughterhouses, and then watch interviews. Watch interviews. Hold on, wait. Watch interviews of undercover slaughterhouse workers. They'll tell you standard practice every day. They have to kick the chickens. They have to kick the cows. They have to kick the pigs to get them to behave because they're forcing them into their death pen. The animals will fight to the last breath to stay alive, and the only way to get them to behave is to kick them, push them, stomp them, tase them, poke them.
That is not true, because that's not an efficient farming practice. The way that you hear the farmers talk about it. These are the guys who are actually putting the bolts in the heads of the cows. They, for the most part, it's a very painless, normal process. The cow's going in there, has no idea what's going on. Yeah, they try and make it painless, of course. Like having struggling animals is not going to help efficiency. Why would they do that? That doesn't make any sense. They want
because
the
animals are struggling to stay alive. The animals are fucking smart, dude. They're not dummies. They know what goes in that room doesn't come out. They know that their turn's up next. They want.
They do not know
dude,
that.
There's way too much footage online to show it.
There is some footage of this, and this does happen. I acknowledge that this happens from time to time, but this is not standard practice, and this is sensationalized footage from people who have a vested interest, such as the vegans, who are going in there and hoping to capture this footage. This is not an all-day occurrence.
Okay, so maybe stomping on the head, you don't like that example.
No.
Would you think it's cruel to take an animal away from its mother?
Yes.
A young baby. Yeah. Okay, that's cruel. Okay.
Yes.
Now, what do you think they do with the cows?
I mean,
they have to come and take the babies away from their mothers, and the mothers are moaning, the mothers are crying, the babies are crying, the babies are struggling, and you can just go watch footage of this. Farmers will show that. There's tons of footage of that. They have to take the babies away from the mothers. And so if you do not support animal cruelty, how do you support that if that's not cruel?
Okay, well, if that is the connection that needs to be made in order for me to basically consume these animals and feel my absolute best as a human being, then I guess under your definition, I will have to accept the position where I do support animal cruelty in that context.
Okay, cool, great. Now, the other question is, have you ruled out the way I eat altogether? Like, do you not feel it's possible for you to eat the exact food I eat and feel fucking amazing?
I can't do it because I've tried it. It's impossible for my body. It's impossible for my body. And you know that I ate.
Okay.
These people on YouTube.
You were my neighbor, not my roommate. I don't know exactly how you ate. All I knew is that you'd come over, you'd see my fruit rack, and you'd be like, "Oh, Ted, it's a lot of fruit, bro." And then you'd be like, I had those gains. And then we'd like go off to shoot some footage or something. Like, I didn't actually see you eat much. I don't know what the fuck you ate.
Okay. So, what I truly practiced for the majority of my vegan diet was fruit in the morning for breakfast, usually a lot of oranges. That was my staple. And when I didn't have oranges, I would usually do oatmeal. And then for lunch, almost every single day of the vegan diet, I basically had a banana smoothie with mixed berries and sometimes soy milk, sometimes water mixed in. I did the dates things for a while. My smoothies were typically 1,000 to 1,200 calories. Literally 99.9% of my days as a vegan. There's very few days I did not have a banana smoothie.
Okay, so oranges for breakfast, banana smoothie.
Correct. I didn't like papayas. And then for dinner, I would usually have like a cooked whole food vegan dinner. That was my standard practice.
So then you did not eat the way I eat.
I did try.
You did not try.
I have. Hold on, I'm getting to that. That's how I ate the majority of my vegan excursion. And then there was 30 days where I legit ate 100% raw. And like I said, I ate fruit for breakfast and lunch, like mangoes, oranges, these type of things. And then for dinner, I would have a very large salad. And I've seen you do that many times. Would do the salad with the avocado.
Salads, dude. I haven't done salads in a while. Salads suck compared to fruit.
All right,
salads suck for digestion.
Here's the thing. There's no fucking way I could eat a third meal of fruit again. I was sick of sweet by dinner time. I was dying for something savory.
Dying.
Absolutely.
You were dying.
Yes, that is correct.
Okay.
That is correct.
Okay.
Fruit does not produce any power in my body. It does not produce any staying power of mental focus or clarity of any sort. That food runs through my body very quickly, and I lost a lot of weight that 30 days that I was raw vegan.
Of course you would.
And I was quite passionate about it, by the way.
You would lose weight. That's a total, that's a for sure. Unless you're anorexic to begin with, which you obviously weren't. Okay, right. So that's how you ate. Now, so then I guess, my question was like, would you rule out eating the way I eat altogether? And I guess your final answer is yes, you'd never attempt the TED diet?
No, I would never attempt it. I would never attempt it from a theory standpoint and also from a practical standpoint from what I know about consuming fruit. I'm not saying it doesn't work for you. I'm not saying that you have, right. I'm not pinpointing any issues that you may have. I have my theories about what would happen to the majority of people who would attempt that. I think there is some genetic outliers that are able to do this stuff long term. Like really? Your friend, Mike Arnstein. He is a fruitarian. He's claimed that since the beginning. He's famous for bringing that to YouTube from the very beginning. He was honest about his tooth issues on the fruitarian diet right off the bat. He was also honest about, I don't think he's honest about not being a fruitarian anymore. So like, that's a main person who's no longer able to do a fruitarian diet. There's other mainstreamers, big names like Doug Graham, who I believe still does an 80-10-10 fruit-based diet.
Dude, let's halt. Let's stop. Mike is able to do a fruit diet.
Okay, but he was extremely small, and
that was his goal. He wanted to be extremely small. His goal.
That's the only option, though. Like vegans say that, like I wanted to be small. I want to look like a cyclist, but that's your only option. You can't go the other way. You can't go the other way.
How look at Mike Velocity, dude.
He's tiny.
His body weight.
That guy, okay, listen, that guy's a genetic outlier. Yes, he is. That guy is holding himself back.
He benches twice his body weight, dude.
It doesn't matter. He could bench more. To say that he is optimizing his genetic potential is a fucking laugh. You gotta admit that. Here's what I'm saying. There's no fruitarian in the world that's going to argue the fact that eating meat would make them bigger and stronger. And let them achieve their genetic potential.
Here's a question for you, Joe.
Sure.
What more performance can somebody want? What more performance do you want? Like, I used to run 16-minute 5Ks. I used to do Ironmans. I can do freaking 20 pull-ups. I can bench 200 pounds. Like, what more performance do you want?
That's pretty good.
Maybe I could have ran a little faster. Maybe I could have done a bit more pulls. Maybe I can bench a little bit more. Who gives a fuck?
Right.
Like,
I agree.
Look at all the other benefits, right? Like, performance-wise, like, this diet is good enough.
I totally agree with you. That's a personal choice. I agree with you. Now, here's the thing. If somebody did want more performance and they had to turn to animal products, would you consider that selfish or a bad thing?
If they had to, why would they have to? I don't get it.
No. If they wanted to.
That
would be a person. If they had a person, like, let's say there was a fruitarian that was a longtime fruitarian. Let's say Mike Velocity right now was like, you know what? I want to go to the fucking Olympics. I want to be the best.
Okay.
And he goes to meat.
Take some drugs, man. Take some steroids.
Okay. Let's say that didn't get him all the way there. Let's say he had a feeling. Let's say he had a feeling that eating proper amount of protein for his body, and I don't know exactly what he's eating. I don't know if he's eating 100% fruit and he's doing those gains on 30 grams of protein a day. Because when we were in Hawaii, I had to school you a bit on nutrition. You didn't know that avocados had damn near no protein in them. You thought you were eating protein shakes with your avocados, and I had to call you out and say, "Hey, you are eating
protein shakes.
You were eating 5-6 avocados, if I recall, in a salad, and you thought you were getting 40-50 grams of protein in your salads." And I was like, "Bro, you're getting about 15."
Not from avos, dude. I was putting other shit on there too, like hemp seeds and tons of greens, and I thought I was getting aminos from the greens.
Right. Thought you were, but didn't add up, did it?
Anyways,
So
your question:
anyways,
Do I think if someone wants to eat meat, if that's bad? I think
Yep.
I think supporting animal cruelty is bad, dude. If you can,
Okay. So there's no reason.
here's the only way I think eating meat is okay. There's
Okay.
two types, okay? And people might find this controversial. I think it's okay to eat meat if you grow it in a fucking petri dish.
Okay.
Right, so you use some genetic shit and you create meat in a petri dish, like fake
They're
meat,
on the verge of
or I
doing
guess it's
this.
real. It's yeah, exactly. So I think that's legit. The other thing I think is fine is roadkill. The animal's already dead. Someone already drove by in a bus and hit it. It's now on the side of the road. Go and eat that. It's already dead. It's already sacrificed. So,
All right.
those are the only two things. Those are only two ways. Otherwise, you're taking an animal's life and you're ending it for your own belief that you need it.
Okay, so I have
It's
two
complete
questions to follow that
bullshit.
up.
Like what more performance do you want?
So, in the case of what you just said, let's assume that somebody cannot ingest as much fruit as you can. And recently, you've moved to OMAD, by the way, right? Are you still doing that?
Yeah, I do. I call it intermittent fasting because I ate like 3 meals in a 4-hour span. So it's hard to call it 1 meal a day when I'm having like 3 little meals within a 4-hour span.
So, if somebody can't get their daily caloric allotment in a 4-hour span like you, or even all
they don't
day,
need to. I used to graze, dude. I switched it up to try it out.
Why did you switch it if you were having such good performance and such good digestive results?
Great question. This is a fantastic question. So I used to be a big proponent of grazing. I used to think, and I still think grazing is the natural way to go. I really do. I just think intermittent fasting, you can hack your hormones.
Yes,
I think
you can.
with it, yeah. So intermittent fasting, I just do intermittent fasting to hack the hormones. I just want to be releasing more human growth hormone. Straight up, that's the only reason.
I think what you're actually looking for is less insulin resistance, or sorry, less insulin secretion throughout the day. Because that's not a healthy thing.
Sure, exactly. Yeah, well, I don't want as much insulin secretion because I want to have more human growth hormone release, and they can't have insulin and human growth hormone release at the same time. The other thing about is
even though bodybuilders who eat multiple meals a day are the biggest ones, but you know what I mean?
Yeah,
for performance reasons, insulin is good.
Size, yes, size and getting lean are different. I can fucking put on size by just doubling up my calories, but if I want to get lean, I need to be burning that body fat, and human growth hormone is what's going to help with that. Anyways, so the other one is glycation. Like I don't want sugar constantly in my body.
Right.
You know, I think long term, the people who have sugar all in their body, man, it's like,
do you feel
I wouldn't want that.
Do you feel like all the sugar that you've been consuming these past years is aging you faster? Like, do you notice anything in your body that's changing more rapidly? Like, I personally feel that.
I can't split test myself and say, oh, it's faster if I do this or it's not faster that. All I know is that, like, long term, I don't want to look like some people.
Okay.
Who have been having a lot of sugar in their body like all day, every day.
So what do you think that is?
What do I think that is?
Yeah, like why do you if you're noticing this on such a small scale, because not very many people are long-term high sugar eaters in the world. I'm saying there's not a huge sample size of these people. They're basically people that you and I both know either in real life or on YouTube, right?
Yeah.
There's not a whole lot of them, but they're all seemingly having similar long-term poor results in terms of skin quality, in terms of the way that they age, in terms of muscle mass long-term. And we know that as we age, we actually need more protein. We need to keep on more muscle mass for just overall health reasons. So these people are not showing the long-term results that you are claiming because right now you're claiming decent performance, good performance. But in the long run, we're seeing that doesn't quite hold up. So what do you think, if this is the proper diet, the frugivore diet for the human body, what do you think is letting them down in the long run?
There's so many things at play here. There's so many things at play. But performance comes from performing. Performance does not come from eating a food or eating a supplement. Would you agree?
I believe that there's building blocks that allow you to achieve those results. Yes, I believe that if I'm on a low protein diet, I'm not going to make any gains regardless of my performing. And I've tested this. I've tested this thoroughly. So,
but
that's what I can say.
To perform well, you must perform. You must practice performing. Right?
Absolutely, yes. Especially with skill-based things.
So as far as like people long-term not having muscle mass, they're just not doing the training. They're not stressing the muscle enough. They're not keeping up with it.
Okay.
And it's like, if you want to have muscle when you're older, you need to be lifting. You need to be lifting the weight. That's the only way. You're either getting weaker or you're getting stronger. And if you're not getting stronger, you're getting weaker, or you're in maintenance mode, whatever. Anyways,
that makes sense for muscle mass, but what about like the skin, the aging, these type of things, the tooth issues? These are common things on the high fruit, high sugar diets.
The whole. Let's address the teeth issue thing right here.
All right.
Everyone is susceptible to teeth issues. The only people who, not the only people, but people who don't have cavities are people who take care of their teeth, or people who keep their teeth clean. Your teeth cannot form cavities if there's no food on them. Would you agree?
Yes.
There's no sugar, there's no food in the teeth, and they just remain clean. Is it going to develop a cavity?
Yes, but in practical terms, logistically, if you're grazing all day to get in the amount of calories that you need, you are subjecting your teeth over and over to sugar.
Agree. So that's another benefit of intermittent fasting. You're only giving your teeth sugar for 4 hours.
Were you having tooth issues?
I've had tooth issues since age 16, well before I ever started. And I say teeth issues. It's just some cavities, It's not like major overhaul teeth issues. So
I mean, that's not a good sign, though. I mean, that your teeth are basically getting holes in them. It's getting through the enamel. I mean, cavities aren't a good sign whatsoever. It's not just something that happens.
Absolutely no, exactly. So the thing is, because I was having cavities already before, I was 16 years old, already having cavities, my oral hygiene was shit, dude. I thought I could get away with not brushing my teeth. I went weeks without brushing my teeth. I thought that was cool. I was like, I can get weeks without shitting because being constipated is cool. I can go weeks without brushing my teeth because that's fuck hygiene. I was not into that. So now I brush my teeth and I floss my teeth. I never did that before. And the thing is, you cannot get a cavity if your teeth are clean. Your teeth can only form cavities when you leave food on them. So it's important to floss. It's important to brush at least once a day, but ideally twice a day.
We definitely agree there. And I want to say
that has nothing to do with eating bananas. That has nothing to do with eating watermelon or orange juice. That has only things to do with leaving food on your teeth.
Well,
and if you're grazing throughout the day, if you're grazing
through,
yes, sure, specifically sugar. If you're grazing throughout the day, it's much harder to keep your teeth clean. But if you can find a way to keep your teeth clean while grazing throughout the day, like maybe having 3 set meals or something, brushing, flossing between, then you're all set. But I just want to address the fact that teeth issues has nothing to do with the food you're eating, as it has everything to do with how you're eating and how you're cleaning or not cleaning your teeth. Oral hygiene.
Well, we agree there, but again, when we apply it to the real world and we talk about like the practicality of these issues and the way that it actually works is typically a vegan's going to have to eat 3 very large meals that are going to take some time to consume. And for instance, my banana smoothie every day took about 2 hours to drink. And I'm not exaggerating.
That's ridiculous.
I would sip it.
Some people are slow eaters for sure. Personally, I'm a fast eater. Ever since I was a kid, I was a fast eater. I'd sit at dinner table. I'd be done in like 5 minutes. Meanwhile, everyone else is still getting started. I remember with past girlfriends, even friends, like we'd be all eating oranges. My orange peel pile would be super high, and they'd have like 4 little peels there. I'm like, where the hell are all your peels? I'm like, they just haven't cracked the oranges yet. So I eat very, very quickly, and I guess that's it has pros and cons eating quickly. But one pro is I don't take fucking 2 hours to drink a smoothie, dude. 10 bananas, man, that could go back down in like 20 minutes, easy.
That's insane. I could never do that. Like literally never do that. What I would do if I was going to eat a rack of bananas for lunch, I would have a pile of the bananas and I would basically consume one like every 10 minutes. And then that would go on for about an hour to 2 hours.
That's so slow, but some people are like that. You're just like that, I guess. So
not with meat. I smash a pound of meat and milk in about 10 minutes. No problem. It's a matter of logistical quantity. Like there's so much fiber in that food. Like I don't enjoy that feeling of just being like gut-wrenchingly stuffed. That's actually what really caused me to start eating more nutrient dense foods even as a vegan towards the very end. I was looking to actually consolidate the size of my meals. I was getting more and more fats in because it was letting my meals shrink down. And I was actually enjoying my food again because I was able to eat smaller sized meals. Like I was so sick of eating the dinners. And my digestion was so fucked up, like it just wasn't enjoyable to me anymore. I wasn't looking forward to dinner. I was just like, oh fuck, I gotta eat dinner now. And then it would come, and then I would, So, I don't know if you had a question there, and I hope we answered it.
The other thing, Drew, that I want to touch on is the physiology, human physiology.
Yeah, please.
Because
Let's go.
I don't believe that there's anything about us from our head to our toe that indicates we're designed to eat the body parts of dead animals.
Okay. I'd love to cover
Inside
this.
and out. Inside
Okay.
and out.
So I know part of your argument already, and correct me if I'm wrong, but we don't have claws. We don't have huge teeth. We don't have the ability to take down a buffalo barehanded and consume it right there on the field, right? Okay, so you also believe that our intestines are the same length as a monkey's. We have a short.
I don't know the intestinal length of a monkey. All I know is that
It's relatively the same.
our intestinal tract is about 12 times the length of our body, whereas a carnivorous animal is about 3 times.
Right. So these are like associations made that don't necessarily mean anything on their own. They just happen to be similar characteristics between certain animals. Like, like a lion has hair on its head, and so do we. Like, it doesn't matter, right? These are just characteristics. They don't necessarily mean anything on their own. So what I want to let you know is that our stomach acid does indicate that we are meant to consume animal foods, and our intestines are not meant to have massive amount of plant fibers going through them. We have very narrow small intestine cavity. So it's not meant for massive amounts of fiber to be pushing through there and destroying the very, very sensitive villi that's in our intestinal lining. So how it's really supposed to work, at least from my perspective and from a physiology, biology perspective, is we consume the food, goes into our stomach. We have a very, very acidic pH balance. It's as low as 1.5, which is similar to a vulture's and an eagle's. It's even lower than cats and dogs. And I think the reasoning for that is because they're mainly consuming fresh kills, and we're not. We're actually more on the scavenger level. So that's why our intestines, our stomach is capable of destroying these pathogens and things like that from this 2-day-old roadkill, basically. Like, we are able to consume raw meat that's even rotten, and there's people doing that for enjoyment purposes these days, or for medicinal purposes. They're eating high meat, and we can get into that later, but that probably sounds insane to you if you haven't seen that content yet. But so we're consuming this meat, it's breaking it down in our stomach with this very acidic acid, and then it goes into our small intestines and it basically dissolves. And this was an issue that Jackson had. He's like, Drew says he doesn't poop for 5 days. Well, he's assuming that I'm constipated for 5 days, but that's not what's going on.
Do you not poop for 5 days?
If I go 100% meat, no milk, basically meat and water, yeah, I'll go like 5 days. Here's the thing: extremely flat stomach, extremely flat colon. There's nothing in there. It's not that I'm constipated and I can't get it out. That's a different story. That's not what's happening. This is what pisses me off about fucking vegans, because they don't.
Hey.
Yeah. It does.
All vegans?
Only vegans say that. And you may say that. You would probably think that if you imagine you not pooping for 5 days, what comes to mind? You're dead. If I put a fucking plug in your ass,
I'm on a water fast, dude.
You're on a water fast. Oh, we'll get into that later. I would like to get into the fasting, because we'll get into that later. Okay. Goes down into our small intestines. The food is absorbed. There's not much left to go into the colon. The colon's job is to absorb water from our food, mainly, and to absorb small chain fatty acids from what the bacteria breaks down. And yes, as a vegan, the fiber goes into your colon, the bacteria there breaks it down, and we absorb about 6 to 10% of our daily calories from short chain fatty acids and other things from what the bacteria produces. The bacteria is breaking down the plant fibers and creating a massive amount of fermentation, generally speaking, for a lot of people. This is why I believe that most people have digestive issues on the vegan diet. Okay? Then we shit it out. All right? Half of our stool by volume is actually bacteria. Most people don't know this. This is why when you consume soluble fiber on a juice fast, you're still going to shit every single day, because there's still fiber getting through there. The bacteria is still piling up, and you're still going to poop. And that's just the way it works. And we can get more into that as well, if you like. So from a physiology perspective, yes, okay, we don't have claws, but that's fine. If you've ever seen persistence hunting, these guys run down dogs after 10 miles. Humans are much better runners than animals are. We can sweat. We're designed for this. They corner an animal. The animal is completely exhausted. They could literally just bash it over the head with a rock, and now they've got a kill. Okay? This is This is done and demonstrated on YouTube.
I've seen persistence hunting.
Okay. So you know that
I think it's
not
fascinating.
So imagine a rabbit. Imagine a bird, or birds are harder to catch, but imagine a rabbit. If you persistence hunt a rabbit or like a small animal, you could literally kill it with your bare hands. And people do that. If you're hungry and you're one of these tribal people, they're not thinking twice about it. And then of course you bring into the tools and all this other stuff. We are very capable of killing these animals for millions and millions of years. We've been using fire for 1 million years. 1 million fucking years. We've been using ovens for 250,000 years or so, 250 to 400,000 years of stone ovens, okay? Hearths is what they call them, hearths. And this is about the time that we also developed the amylase in our mouths, which is the ability to break down starches in our mouth. So these timelines are adding up, okay? These timelines are adding up. And essentially what I'm saying is that even if we don't have tools, we are still able to consume and eat raw meat if we wanted to, and still able to kill these animals even if we wanted to. And we see monkeys do this. Monkeys rip their fucking limbs apart.
You know how much harder it is to persistence hunt, dude? Deers come. Then what? I'm at my cabin right now.
Where around you right now is there enough fruit? If you wanted to right now, where could you eat fruit in the world? In Canada.
Reach over right here.
Right.
Boom,
so
shakalaka.
Without somebody importing that from Ecuador.
Boom shakalaka.
Without that being imported from Ecuador.
Humans are not equipped without technology to live in cold climates. We need crazy amounts of technology.
And we also need technology for farming though, don't we?
No.
Okay, how do you figure? To have the knowledge of seasons and understanding of digging.
There's knowledge and then there's technology. Two different things. Knowledge is understanding, hey, if I take a shit, it's going to grow this fruit tree because there's seeds in my shit. Technology is coming up with the fences and the machines and all the other stuff that goes along with that.
So you've been Evan Rock's farm.
Tools and stuff.
You've been Evan Rock's farm. You know the amount of work that it takes to keep that land in shape. Evan grows.
Keeps it in shape. Keeps it beautiful, man.
To be able to eat. Like they have a garden.
The fruit trees are pumping whether the fruit trees will be pumping whether he touches them or not.
Yeah, but the access to those fruit trees
pumping off. The access is another thing. Yeah, the access is another thing. Sure, just clear the access.
Right, but that's not that's a full-time job to do that. That requires machinery, heavy machinery. That requires pesticides. It requires weed killers. He's using all of these things, admittedly. So it's very difficult to think about this.
Organic farming does not require pesticides.
Okay, organic farming, this goddamn myth of organic farming. Go talk to Evan Rock about this. And I hope to have him on my show soon because this is one of the biggest fantasies in the vegan world is that you can just like plant this plant and this plant works in symbiosis with this plant and the natural pheromones from this one keeps the bees away. It's just like fairy tale bullshit. First of all, the weeds are going to grow so fucking tall that you can't even get to those plants. That's the truth.
It is so much easier to pick a fruit off a tree and eat it than chase a rabbit, bro. Even once you get the rabbit, you're left with a dead rabbit. It's covered in hair, blood, guts. It's nasty. Nobody wants that shit. Everybody wants a mango. Everybody wants a papaya. Everybody wants a durian. Everybody wants jackfruit. Everybody wants peaches, plums, nectarines, cherries, bananas, dates, grapes. Everybody loves fruit. It's natural. It's our physiology. People hate roadkill, man. That'd be fucking nasty. People go to jail for bringing roadkill to school. Like, you can't do that. It's it's blood, guts, it's hair, it's disgust. And it's like, it's so much harder to run and chase deer, man, than pick a mango off a tree.
But the amount of nutrition you get that may or may not be 100% necessary.
The amount of nutrition you get, the amount of nutrition you get from fruit has kept me alive for 10 years. It's allowed me to perform the way I've been performing for the past 10 years.
Right.
Okay.
And I believe
the amount of nutrition you get from fruit is adequate.
Adequate, yes. And I really hate that word, but I'm glad you used it because that's what I consider it. It's adequate. It's satisfactory. It does the job.
It's not. It does the job.
Though. It may not be optimal though. It may not be optimal. That's what we're seeing with a lot of long-term vegans. Optimal. That's what I'm concerned with. Optimal.
Can you answer my question? What more performance do you want, bro?
Okay, so at the end of your life, when you're basically your body is starting to, it's starting to get rickety, 60, 70, 80 years old. At that point, you say...
So now, hold on. Because people say, oh, Ted, you haven't been doing it long term. They said this back when I was doing it for a couple of years. I'm like, a couple of years, that's quite long term. Then I get to 5 years, and they're like, you haven't been doing long term. I'm like, 5 years is considered a long term relationship with any human. 5 years
Right.
is a long term relationship. Now
I
I've been
agree.
going nearly a decade, and now apparently it's not enough. Now I got to wait till I'm 60 to prove something.
No. Well, I'm not saying that. I believe you're long term. 10 plus years on any diet, you fucking proven your point. Now, we don't know how it's still going to react to you when you're 60, 70, 80. My point is, when you get to those later stages of life and your diet is adequate and your body's starting to give you some shit just for being old, because that's going to happen to everybody at some point, are you going to say, okay, I'm down with this adequate diet, or do I want the fucking optimal diet so that my years from 80 to 90 aren't goddamn miserable? That's the difference.
It's not that I don't want optimal diet. I believe my diet is optimal.
Okay, you do believe it. This is important for you to say that, because you use adequate, say optimal.
I
and we
said,
can be cool.
I said the nutrients you're getting from fruit is adequate. Like it's good enough, and a fruit diet is the optimal diet. It like people think you need more in life. You just need enough. How much money do you need, Drew? You need enough money. How much fitness do you need? You need enough fitness. How many girls do you need? You need enough. How many relationships do you need? Enough. You don't need more.
We both know you don't agree with that.
Enough, dude. More is not better. More is a pain in the ass. How much sleep do you need? Enough. How much sunlight do you need? Enough. How much vitamin D do you need? Enough.
Okay.
So I used to believe in mega dosing, loading up with like mega dose vitamin C. That's bullshit. You don't need to mega dose anything. You just need enough. Balance is the best. So I say adequate because it's enough, and then having just the right amount is optimal.
Okay. That's fair. I'm willing to accept that. That's fine.
Beautiful. That's why I'm having this conversation, dude. We can talk about these things.
This is what I have an issue with the majority of vegans, is that they are unwilling to accept. And now we have, and you haven't necessarily agreed to this yet, but they are unwilling to accept that. And I trust me, as a vegan, I hated the phrase "everybody's different." Everybody's body is different. It's a fucking cop out. I want to know. I'm willing to accept that 1 to a few % of people are different. Sure. There's genetic abnormalities. We have people growing up as fucking 100%. Siamese twins, dude, you know?
100%.
Right?
100%,
like, we don't know what the hell's going on. But I'm talking about the overwhelming majority. Like, I believe 90% of people can't go a lifetime as a vegan. That's what I believe. Maybe even more. And do you believe that 90% or more could be 100% fruitarians and be 100% healthy and adequately optimal, however you want to phrase that? Do you believe that nearly everybody could be a fruitarian? Logistics aside, ethics aside, do you think that diet in terms of health would work for most people, and from what you've seen?
The only way to make a fruitarian diet work is if the person initially wants to make it work, and most people don't. They need to initially make it, they need to want to make it work, and then they need to have access to high quality fruit.
Okay.
That's it. Like, if you want to make it happen and you have access to high quality fruit, it's going to work wonders for you. So yes, I believe that 90+% can make it work if they want to, but they don't. Very few people want to. Very few people want to. They love the idea of it. Oh, that's really nice, but I could never do it. They haven't even tried it. They don't even want it badly enough. So, and the people, here's the other thing, Drew. Like, my diet, the fruit diet, it's not essential. I think you can still be healthy on a vegan diet. I don't want people to get the wrong idea in this interview and think that, I don't think the vegan diet is the way to go. I think you have to be raw. I think veganism is the house. Veganism is where the party's at. You enter the vegan house. Once you're there, awesome, you're all set. Raw fruitarianism, that's a room in that house. Mm-hmm. Okay, you can go into that room and you can detox, you can lose weight, you can cleanse, you can get mental clarity, you can feel great, whatever. It's a room in the house. If you want to go back to the cooked room, go ahead. You can still be healthy, but you're going to feel your best, I believe, in the raw room. And if you've been doing raw for a while and you're like, I don't want to do it anymore because my goals have changed, I want to gain some weight, fine, go back to eating cooked. But just know there's going to be like some side effects, like some, indigestion perhaps, whatever, like from all the lentils and beans, whatever. So
at least we agree on that shit.
Oh, dude, that stuff, instant gas, dude, unless apparently you're Jackson, which, he does a lot of cardio, so maybe you can get away with it. But anyone who's touching beans or lentils, in my opinion, is going to be bloated and have gas. That stuff does not work for most people. Right. So I don't think you need to do raw. I think raw helps you achieve certain goals. In life, your goals can change. And when your goals change, your diet can change. But veganism is the house. Because and the reason I like veganism so much is because on a vegan diet, especially on a high fruit diet, you're getting everything you need to thrive. And you're not hurting any animals. And veganism for me is about not hurting animals. Veganism for me isn't about health.
Okay.
Veganism for me is not about health. Veganism for me is about not fucking with the animals. Leave the animals alone. Right? You would not, like you said, want me stomping on a chicken's head. Why not? Because you care for the animals.
Right.
Right? But the reason you're eating meat is because you think you need to, or you believe you need to, or you know you need to be healthy. And so that's just it right there. It's like I'm eating a fruit diet because I believe it's optimal, but I could just as well be eating cooked vegan and still be happy about it. But I experienced some side effects for sure.
I remember you back in the day making a lot of videos talking about eating anything cooked essentially makes you eat it till you're just gut stuffingly full. Do you think that's still the same for you today?
No.
You talked about salted broccoli, right? And that could just leave you on the floor dead.
I had major addiction issues in the past. I could have steamed broccoli now, no issues. I could have steamed pumpkin now. I could have steamed carrots now. I could have I wouldn't touch rice, I wouldn't touch beans, I wouldn't touch lentils, I wouldn't touch potatoes, I wouldn't touch all that stuff. But I could easily have steamed carrots, steamed broccoli, and all that stuff, even with salt on it. I'm not going to overeat. Like I'm maybe it's intermittent fasting, maybe it's just my age, maybe it's wisdom now. Like I don't let food control me like that anymore.
Cool.
But
yeah, I believe that intermittent fasting is very powerful.
Yeah, in the past I used to be hella addicted to any sort of cooked food. Now it's just no, it's not like that.
I really wanted to ask you something and tie it into what we talked about with Jackson yesterday. Give me a moment. Yeah, I'm going to have to let that one go. Maybe it'll come back to me. Okay, so, and I actually had that written down, was the eating disorder here, because I remember you talking about that specifically back in the day. And what I find is interesting is a lot of the criticism that the ex-vegans are getting, especially, the carnivore ex-vegans now, or just really any ex-vegans from the vegan community, is that all ex-vegans had eating disorders, all ex-vegans underate, all ex-vegans practiced raw veganism or whatever. So we've got somebody like you who's done all of these things, the water fasting, the raw veganism, long term, and you're still out here promoting veganism, and you're doing it longer term than most of those people who fell off. So do you think that's an honest criticism, or do you think that is just a scapegoat excuse for people not wanting to accept that some people couldn't do the vegan diet or couldn't make it work for them? Like, what do you think is the reason that people are leaving veganism?
Couple of reasons, dude. Couple of reasons. And I gotta figure out my headphone situation because the batteries are dying here.
Okay.
I need to find a plug in here, so we may need to take a little coffee break in a sec. But
can you plug one in and then have that one charge and then do a little?
I've done that before, but then the other one dies too quickly and that doesn't charge enough, so it won't. I tried that, but good call. Couple things. I think, and I can't pinpoint. I'm not sure why so many people are leaving veganism. And I say so many people. There's more people coming into veganism than there are leaving. That's for sure.
Right.
But two things. Number one, we are so easily influenced. Look at, I don't want to name names, but look at the girl in Hawaii living with Joey and Megan.
Okay.
She had no issues. She didn't need to go back to eating meat. In fact, when she found out, I don't know if I can say Joey and Megan, but I just said it, fuck it, whatever. When she found out Joey and Megan were eating, then she started crying and freaked out, right? And then she's like, yeah, but then a few days went by and I decided to try it. I'm like, no shit, of course you would. We want to do what the group's doing. We're social creatures. We're so easily influenced. We're birds of like feather flock together. Like if I was in Hawaii with all those people, everyone's eating meat, hey, maybe I would have done it too.
Right.
I highly doubt it because I'm super ethical about it, but maybe I would have just left and said, fuck it, I can't hang around these people anymore. Who knows? Okay. But we're so easily influenced. So that's one thing. A lot of people don't have enough vegans in real life to hang out with.
Well, we know that that's not the case in Hawaii. There's plenty of vegans, but I want to say that that wasn't really my question. My question was not why they may have been influenced to consume the meat in the first place. My question is more on the I want to hear your criticism and your breakdown of what the vegans are saying as the reason for leaving. So they're citing things that you do on a regular basis, like water fasting and the raw veganism. So you're an authority on this because you've been doing it longer than a lot of these people. So you can definitively say, "Hey, that's a bullshit reason."
Sure.
You should.
Sure.
I mean,
here's what happened. Here's what happened. Tim does a water fast. Elise does some cleansing. Ravana does some cleansing. People say, "Hey, they all did cleansing and water fast. They all went back to meat." Boom. Correlation. They think it's causation. Correlation and causation are two different things. Correlation does not mean causation. Just because Tim did a fast, just because Ravana did a fast, just because Lisa did a fast, and they all go back to eating meat, you're forgetting about all the other thousands of vegans who have also done fast and cleanses who are still vegan. Right? So just because you can't cherry pick and say, "Oh, that's the reason." Right there. That's what they're doing. It's so easy. It's people just on YouTube all the time, bro. You know,
they're making the association, and it's not correct. I mean, it's they're trying to put together these little pieces, but other vegans, like you're saying, have already are doing these things, still believe in these things. Like you believe in water fasting. I'm not against water fasting to a certain level. Like I don't think a week-long water fast is necessary, but shorter ones, yeah, sure.
Yeah, okay, short ones, sure.
You want to figure out your headphone situation, and I can take care of the chat here for a minute?
Yeah. You take care of the chat. Answer some questions. I'll be back with some headphones.
Okay. All right, we're gonna do a little intermission here, guys. Thanks for sticking with us. How's everybody doing in the chat? What do you guys think so far? Let me try and catch up a little bit. There's been thousands. I haven't, today has been, I've been very focused. This isn't a day where I can just read the chat. Because what we're saying here is very, very important things that I don't think have been said before on YouTube from the carnivore versus vegan perspective. What's up, Sarah? My girl. Gung Fu, I think we're both offering honest answers here, and I have the feeling that Ted is being very honest and speaking about tough subjects. You know, this isn't part of the material package that these guys are used to talking about. If they're involved in these fruit festivals and things like that, everybody's just patting you on the back, wanting to hear about the benefits of veganism, and that's something that these guys have ready to go. So you got to give vegans credit for coming on here and talking about these subjects and really thinking for themselves for the most part. Humans run on carbs. We don't need protein and fats. Yeah, stench herbivore. I know you're trolling, but I know people believe that. And I like to point out the fact that alcohol, if you consume alcohol, your body will burn alcohol before carbs, fat, or protein. So what does that tell you? If your body's going to burn alcohol before carbs, fat, and protein, does that mean alcohol is our primary fuel source? I would like people to consider that. It doesn't mean that at all, does it? You shouldn't be consuming alcohol in order to... Okay, can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yes. Can you mute your microphone on your phone? It's at the top of the screen. It's a little button in the middle.
Mute that?
Yes. Perfect. Can you hear me still?
We're good? Yeah.
Good.
Sweet.
Great. All right. So let's get back on track here, guys. We got Ted back.
Yo,
you got
there's one thing. There's one. How do I put this phone? Fuck it. Doesn't matter. I'm just looking at you, so it doesn't matter. Okay.
Get your microphone back. That sounded great.
Test.
Great.
All right. Perfect. If people see me looking down like this because I'm looking at you.
Yeah. They know what's going on. It's all good. The quality is amazing. Everything's great.
Cool.
Let's get back to it. So I'm getting out of chat mode, guys. I got to focus with Ted. We're having, in my opinion, breakthrough conversation here. Never been done before. I'm serious. I'm not even joking about that because rarely do we have people giving real testimonial, and I believe you are giving me honest answers, and I'm trying to give you honest answers. We're giving each other a true piece of our mind here, and this is a very rare thing that happens in discussions or debates, especially on YouTube, especially between vegans and carnivores, because it becomes this like little pissing match, and nobody's interested in finding the common ground, and that's what I am interested in, to be honest with you. So
cool. Okay, so can I ask you a question?
Yes, let's go.
Do you think there's a nutrient that I'm not getting from fruit that I need to be getting from meat?
Oh, I remember the Jackson question. Okay, this will tie into that, and I want to answer that for you. So, is there a nutrient? There's a host of them. Yes. Do I know them by heart? No, because I don't really care. I know people cite common ones are going to be vitamin A. They're going to be talking about your ALA precursors. Can you convert that to DHA EPA? Obviously, you can. Otherwise, you'd be dead, or you would be like mentally handicapped by now, which I don't see that as the case. You work a lot. You obviously perform for people. You're an entertainer of sorts. You make videos. So I don't think that's the case for you. But anyways, there are several things, and this is the thing is like people like Jackson yesterday citing these studies. He's going based on what the World Health Organization, the Harvard School of Medicine, the American Dietetics. So he fully believes in the institutional guidelines that are being bestowed to us, right? So he's talking about like RDAs, daily recommendations of things, but we know for sure that on the fruit diet, you are not meeting the standard RDAs of anything. So when you ask me and you say, hey, what nutrient am I not getting? I'm not even saying this from a meat perspective, but when you're talking about a strictly an RDA perspective, you're not hitting any of those. And we've ran through the numbers on daily calcium intake for raw vegans. They are not hitting even their daily calcium. That's one specific one that I can tell you right off the top of my head. Let's not even get into the vitamins, A, E, K, all these other things. So from an RDA perspective, you're nowhere close, but yet it's working for you. So what does that tell you? It's almost like you're a carnivore because you are off the charts on such a far direction that doesn't make sense to people, but it's working for you and you say you're healthy, and I'm doing it in the other direction and I say that I'm healthy. And our results are decent. You're over there benching 200 pounds. I don't know exactly what you're eating. I think you're cheating these days, but it's fine. I don't know what you're consuming. That's not bananas, papayas, and mangoes, in my opinion. But that's up to you to talk about that stuff. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think you brought it. Can you lower your volume? When I talk, I can hear me.
Let's see. I need to
your output volume.
My output volume.
So when I'm talking, lower that volume.
So you're hearing me. Oh, wait. So are you plugged into the computer or are you plugged into the phone?
Phone.
Plug into the computer.
My headphones?
Yes.
Well, then I can't hear you on Instagram.
I'm gonna mute the Instagram. You'll hear me through this, and it's much better than the Instagram. Trust me. Trust me on this.
If I plug my headphones into the computer, how's it going to connect to you?
You're on Google Hangouts with me.
Use that. Yeah, that's muted. Okay, I'll go back. Testing.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Testing. I don't hear you.
Can you hear me?
I don't hear you. Oh.
Hello.
I don't hear you.
Okay.
Oh, sec. What's this? It says you're muted, dude.
Can you? Oh. My bad. That was me. There we go. Sorry. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
There we go. Okay. We're all set. We're even better now.
There we go.
Okay. Make sure you mute your phone again, or make sure the phone is muted.
Yeah, I believe it is.
Okay, great. So we don't have to. So now you can hear me really well, right?
Oh yes, the best ever, dude. This is high quality.
There you go. Okay. So
now I can hear what your mic actually sounds like.
Yes.
Wow, it's butter.
Okay.
Organic grass-fed butter.
Yours sounds great too. Okay, so where were we here?
Oh yeah. So you talked about how you don't know how it's possible that I'm still thriving, and I don't know how it's possible that you're still even alive, after eating all that meat.
I'm saying this is the perspective of the majority. I can accept that you're a genetic abnormality that's able to survive long-term on a fruit-based diet.
You think I'm a genetic abnormality, really?
Yeah, I don't think most people are going to be able to do that.
So you think it's genetics, it's not desire, it's not commitment?
If it's purely commitment and desire for external reasons other than just purely on the way that you feel, then I believe that you are ignoring some of the letdowns of the diet. If you are so committed to the animal ethics standpoint, then I believe that you will ignore some of the side effects of the diet. That's what I believe.
Well, what would some of those side effects be?
Some of those side effects could be long-term health issues. Some of those side effects could be weakness, tiredness,
Weak-
mood instability,
Mood instability. That's the main reason I stick to this diet, homie.
poor digestion.
Stick to this diet because my mood is like this.
That's why I'm saying it's a genetic situation, because you are able to do that. And when I say that you are able to do it and other people aren't, I mean the majority of people. Like if you took somebody off the street and you said, I'm going to put you in a room for testing purposes and I'm going to give you fruit all day long, and they didn't even have to like think about it, and you were just going to force feed them fruit all day long, I don't think that they would feel that good. I don't think they would have good digestion.
I think they would feel horrible if you're force feeding someone alone in a room. They're gonna feel like shit.
Okay, how about the people that want to do it?
How about we just bring people to the Canada Fruit Fest? They come and see how they feel for 4 days, August 9th to the 12th. If you feel great, awesome. If you feel like shit, let me know.
Okay, well, so
environment is key, dude.
Environment is key. You asked about a specific nutrient. I tried to answer that as best as that I could from my perspective. I hope that satisfies it. If you have, what else did you have on your mind there? Because it sounded like you were going to go into something.
No, I was just curious to know if you thought something was lacking, and I'm thinking like, well, clearly there's nothing lacking. Like I've been putting my body on fast forward for the past 10 years with the amount of fitness I do. And nothing's breaking down.
Okay.
So something's definitely working here.
Okay.
And every time I punched in my food on chronometer, everything comes up clean.
That is not true.
That is, yeah, dude. That's
way.
Yeah, dude.
No, there's. I know for a fact when you punch in even a like very well equipped raw vegan diet, calcium is generally around 30% daily. So there's no way that you're hitting over 100%. And I'm not even saying that RDA is necessary. Like you got to hear what I'm saying about this. I'm not saying RDA is the end all be all. And I'm not saying that you can't survive with less calcium per day. I want to point out that you got vegans like Jackson standing on the World Health Organization, the statistics, the science, all this stuff, and he wholeheartedly believes in what the RDAs are saying. And you've got other vegans in that camp as well. And then you've got other vegans like yourself who are doing it long term, that are doing it well, that aren't even hitting those RDAs and are still seemingly doing well. So like, I just want to point out the genetic difference within the vegans right there. Like in the vegan community, there's still a wide variety. We're not even talking about the people that can't even handle doing that stuff. I'm talking about the people that can seemingly handle it long term and do well, and how they're able to achieve a very wide variety of foods. Like that's how fucking different. Like that's what I think we're all learning, is that how different we really are in terms of digestion and what we can handle.
Drew, do you drink coffee?
I did, yeah.
Does Bobby's Perspective drink coffee?
Yes, he does.
Okay, so you drink coffee, Elise drinks coffee, Bobby drinks coffee. Do you think that drinking coffee and eating meat go hand in hand?
No, absolutely not.
Because, like, if you're just eating meat's pretty much just like fat and protein. Right? There's zero carbs in meat.
Correct.
Zero fucking carbs.
Correct.
So
it's not that we don't eat carbs, but you're right. There's no carbs in the meat.
Yeah, and when you drink coffee, when you're taking caffeine, whether it's a caffeine pill or green tea or coffee, whatever, that triggers something in the body to burn fat as fuel much better than it would otherwise. So do you think that drinking caffeine allows you to feel better on your meat diet than you would otherwise?
No. Definitely not.
So why don't you go a month without coffee?
I definitely can. And by the way, I drank a lot more caffeine as a vegan. Just want you to know that.
Can and will are different things, because I can do a lot of things, but I won't.
Again, this is like an associative thing. Like I drank Monster energy drinks while in Hawaii as a vegan.
You did a lot of shit as a vegan, dude.
And drank coffee.
You did a lot of stupid shit as a vegan.
Well, but stupid from what perspective? Like
health
it doesn't.
Perspective. Well, Monster drinks are not healthy.
I'm not going to say that they're healthy, but I'm going to say that I enjoyed them and I needed them and I craved them a lot more as a vegan.
Bro. Watch it.
I crave them a lot more as a vegan than I do now. So what does that say to you? Like I'm doing them less now as a carnivore than I did as a vegan, objectively speaking.
But why would you be open to doing a 30-day video, no caffeine for a month, a 30-day challenge
I wouldn't want to do that, and I don't see a reason to do it.
to show what it's like to eat a meat diet without coffee. Because everyone I know is eating meat diets also on coffee.
So you're saying like you're not making an assumption about it. You're just saying it would be interesting to see it.
Yeah,
Okay.
because I think
I won't be the one to do that.
because when I was doing super super high fat,
Yep.
back in my triathlon days, I tried super super high fat for a bit, and I was on tea and some coffee, and it worked
Okay.
really really well. As soon as I got rid of the coffee, I was like, dude, I can't handle this fat. I need the carbs.
Okay. I want to say something interesting about eating carbs and meat or carbs and fat together. We know that that's pretty much not a good thing to do based on
Combining the two. Yeah, no.
So that's what I love about the carnivore and the vegans. Like everybody agrees that's not an optimal state.
Yeah.
That's simple, right? But when I consume carbs for lunch along with my meat, my fat and stuff, obviously not an optimal food combination, that's when I feel most tired. Like if anything, that's when I would want a coffee in the afternoon or a Red Bull or whatever. Otherwise, I don't really think about it that much. And
why do you go for stimulants when you're tired rather than just getting proper sleep and enough nutrition?
Oh, I sleep enough. I sleep 8 hours every night pretty much. And I don't have an issue sleeping. I have no issues with that at all. The only time I have issues sleeping is if I drink a Monster at like 5 p.m. or something stupid like that.
Why do you drink the coffee?
Okay. So, first of all, coffee is delicious. I drink it black.
Coffee is delicious. I love it black as well.
I always have. I'm Cuban. I literally grew up drinking coffee since I was 5 years old. Like for real, my great grandparents that I was babysat as a kid would give me the little coffee cups, and I would mix it with so much sugar and cream. It was just like a little milk.
Ditto. That's how I got started too.
So like I've been doing that forever, man, and I like it. Like, why can't we do things that we just like? And I do like the stimulant. I'm not even going to say that I don't like the stimulant part.
Right.
I enjoy that, of course.
For sure.
I enjoy the mood lift. I enjoy all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I fully understand that if I were to stop drinking coffee now, even though I drink just such a small amount of it, it's possible that for a couple days I would be wanting to drink it and like feeling a bit addicted to it, almost like withdrawals. I totally understand that.
Of course. Yeah, I don't think you'd be in denial of that. I think you're wise enough to understand that factor. I'm just wondering, is it possible to feel as good eating just meat like you do for the most part without coffee? Or is the coffee essential to help utilize
No, definitely not. No, what I think gets you into the fat burning mode, if we want to talk a little bit of like theory and science together here, because in my opinion, intermittent fasting, this is new shit. The understanding of it is new. I'm not saying that humans didn't fast because they were fucking starving. That's a stupid thing to say. Understanding intermittent fasting and creating these feeding windows that we have recently is new shit. Okay, so we're all doing this experiment together, basically, whether you're vegan or whether
you're doing intermittent fasting.
Yeah, of course.
What's your window?
I try to do 6, but it's usually 8. Two meals.
12 to 8.
Oh yeah, something like that. Or 1 to 9, more typically.
Oh, okay.
I push it pretty late, and
you're a slow ass eater, dude.
No, not with meat, because it's like this much food and it's gone in 2 seconds.
Why do you eat it in 9 hours then, dude? Or 8 hours?
Oh, because it takes me. Meat is extremely satiating. When you have a massive amount of protein, you're done for like at least 6 hours. At least for me.
Why don't you just have it all in one meal and then be done?
I can't eat more than I do in one meal. Like I max out each meal. Like I'm eating 1,200 to 1,300 calories for lunch and 1,200 to 1,300 calories for dinner.
How? Oh, okay.
Like I couldn't eat more meat than I do, because once you hit that satiation bite on meat, and this is something that you have no clue about on the fruit diet, because as a vegan, I never reached this point really. I would get to the point where I was gut-wrenchingly full and I physically couldn't fit any more in, and I would be like, okay, I'm done. Or the bowl would be empty. But as a meat eater, you could have 2 pounds of meat in front of you and somebody could say, try and eat that whole thing. And when you reach that point of satiation, you're done. It's like, it's almost like another bite would almost make you nauseous. but the bite just before it was delicious. Do you see what I'm saying? There's a clear line, and this is not
That's why I
something
love.
that happens.
That's why I love eating a fruit diet, because there's that satiation factor. So I
Interesting.
can't take another bite of a watermelon when I've had enough. Like I wouldn't be sick, but I just no desire to eat the watermelon anymore.
Right.
But that
Okay.
last bite was fucking amazing, and then one more bite, I just simply don't want it.
Okay.
Watermelon's away. So that and it's not like that on cooked food. Like
Okay.
broccoli, beans, lentils, rice, just keep eating. There's no satiation endpoint.
Okay.
Which is why I think it's so easy to get fat and gain weight on cooked food, but that's another conversation. I didn't know that about meat, that there was an endpoint. That's interesting.
Oh, so you were asking about the fat burning, and I wanted to finish that point, because to get into fat burning mode, I think the most powerful tool that we can do is not just eating very low carb and forcing our body into that mode, because that's what ketogenic people do. They eat such a high amount of fats. They eat such a high amount of fats that it pushes their body into consuming to creating more ketones, like mechanically speaking. And I don't agree with that approach. I don't like that, because in my opinion, it's not as good for performance. But for actually getting into fat burning mode, what I believe is optimal is creating a fasting schedule for yourself, where you are forcing your body to go 16, 18 hours into the day. And that will get you into fat burning mode, because we know, based on the research and the science, that after about 12 hours, you are at an insulin baseline level. You are
6 hours if you're healthy.
Depends on what you eat. Depends on how fat adapted you are, your fitness, all kinds of things. But as a general rule of thumb, 12 hours is pretty much going to guarantee that you're in a fat burning mode. Mm-hmm. But you're at that point, it just depends. So going beyond 12 hours is optimal. You need to. Typically, they're saying even like 16 to 18 hours. 16 hours is kind of like the minimum for getting to real fat burning mode. So I think the fasting is more important than exactly what you eat, because I'm consuming carbs, and eating carbs does beget more carb addiction, basically. Like,
what are your carbs?
I like white rice, to be honest.
You're eating white rice?
Yes.
And
sometimes.
meat.
And sometimes like other processed carbs like burger buns and things like that.
Well, why do you go for white rice when you could have quinoa?
I like the fiberless content of it. White rice digests absolutely perfectly for me. It's very consistent.
It made your insulin spike, dude.
Yeah, there's no avoidance of that. And like, so does eating protein, and we're not going to talk about this in this, because I think we're going to get way too off topic. But you should check out Bart K's video on the glucose index. Okay. You need to check that out, because he basically debunks the glucose index and talks about specifically why the different foods, even whether you have fiber in it or not, is basically all the same shit. We really don't know what causes food to spike insulin more or less. We really don't know. So that's another piece of the puzzle that is going to have to be revisited as we move forward with all of this stuff. So what I'm saying is, we do know that carb spikes the most, protein somewhere in the middle, fats are at the lowest. Everything spikes your insulin somewhat. Yeah. And will take you out of insulin baseline. Yeah. But a carb spike will take longer to get to insulin baseline. Yeah. So yes, you can sort of optimize your fasting window if you eat a higher amount of fats as opposed to eating a bunch of carbs. Yes, that's sort of a given. But what I'm saying, and through my experience and what the research is also showing us, is that you can still eat carbs and still burn a lot of fat. Yeah. As long as you're practicing these fasting windows. Mm-hmm. So I hope that kind of takes care of that. And I don't know how much more we want to get into the fasting, because that's kind of specific. Although I do recommend that, and I'm a huge believer in it.
I think for everyone listening right now, I know you mentioned it with Jackson. You said like the biggest issues vegans are facing is digestion issues, and one of the best things anyone listening can do to optimize their digestion, besides eating a fruit diet, or as Drew says, besides eating a meat diet, is to intermittent fast.
Yeah, and I gotta respond to this person in the comments, because they're being ridiculous. They're saying white rice plus high meat likely to cause glucose metabolism impairment. That's a theory, and I understand where you're coming from with that. But if you're doing it in a inconsistent frequency, then no, I disagree with that. I mean, if you're consuming a small amount of rice, we're talking about like 100 grams of carbohydrate.
That's how much you eat?
Like of carbs from it, not the weight.
You eat 100 grams of rice? Oh,
yeah. Let's say about 300 calories worth. Like like a cup or something like that, or 2 cups per meal, like every other day or something like that, like on a cycle.
Yeah.
I don't think that's enough to cause metabolism impairment, especially when you're doing fasting and things like that.
And fitness.
The fasting, the fitness is so powerful. You guys, you can get away with a lot, and
Yeah.
I think you could still be extremely healthy, like optimally healthy, basically. And
Yeah.
then another guy says Bart K denies the scientific evidence hierarchy. Not the best guy to have as your source. Well, he is a higher level scientist than you or I. So when he's explaining things like mechanics and mechanism of the way that these things work within the body, and he's done the testing himself, he doesn't deny the hierarchy of evidence. He puts into place and puts into perspective where the vegans' hierarchy of evidence, or where the vegans' evidence falls on the hierarchy of evidence. It's not that he's denying the hierarchy of evidence altogether. It's that vegans overvalue some of their evidence. That's where people are misunderstanding Bart K's interpretation of the hierarchy of evidence. No, he doesn't deny the outcome of evidence. I need to get the so anyways, go ahead and bring up, I need a minute to fix something on here, but go ahead and bring up anything you'd like to say. I'll be listening. Sorry, I don't know if that sounded weird.
How about I just eat a banana?
Eat a banana. Take a banana breather.
I still gotta wait half hour for my eating window, dog.
Oh boy.
Fix your shit, dude.
Somebody asked how old I am. I am going on 34, guys. Ted, how old are you?
28.
Let's see here. Sorry. I have to enable something.
Oh, there's 251 people in the room, dude. What's up?
Yeah, man.
Oh, this is gang. What's good, homies? I'm seeing the chat for the first time.
Yeah. Answer some questions.
All right. Here we go. Oh, okay. If you're vegan, type 1. If you're not vegan, type 2.
Type 2 diabetic, guys.
If you're a meat eater, type a 2, and if you're a vegan, type 1. Let's see who's in the house here. Does Ted intermittent fast? Yes, I do. Hello from Edmonton. What's up, Edmonton? Ted, please be serious. Nah, I'm good. Whoa, a lot of numbers coming in.
What do we got?
A lot of meat eaters, man. EVK, vegan. Drew looks much younger. Look at all these meat eaters, dog. You got fam.
No, man. That's just...
You got fam, dog.
This is just... We let the pump talk.
Hey, can you stop laughing and be more serious? No, my mood's too good, yo.
I told them. I said you're fine. I said you're answering tough questions that other people probably wouldn't be honest about. And I think that you're doing a good job of actually conversing and like thinking through these problems rather than just hitting people with a canned answer. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, dog. No canned answers here. Wow, dude, you got fam. All right, so that's pretty cool. I didn't know there's so many damn people watching, bro. I would have been on my... Oh, I thought there was like 40 people in the room or something.
Hang on, I'm enabling this feature. What?
Okay, Leaves and Wanders. Ted, please make a disclaimer that intermittent fasting is not optimal for everyone or necessary on a vegan or fruit-based diet.
Ooh, that's a...
Yeah, I wouldn't say it's necessary, but I like it. It's got its pros and cons for sure, like anything. It's definitely not necessary, and it's not optimal for everyone. Yeah, nothing. I don't know if anything's optimal for diet-wise. If anything's optimal for everyone, but yeah, if you're eating a fruit-based diet, man, you can. I mean, if your digestion sucks, intermittent fasting really, really helps. If you want to drop some body weight really quickly, intermittent fasting helps. If you want to not be so focused on food throughout the day, intermittent fasting helps. If you want to keep your teeth clean, intermittent fasting helps. There's a lot of pros to it. But if it's not as essential for girls, I think guys get more benefits from intermittent fasting than girls do.
Why do you think that is? I haven't actually put too much research into the female side of it.
It's just like the same. It's just like a hormonal thing, dude. Like women need Women have kids, man. We don't have kids in our bodies. Women have to have the ability to have kids, and their hormones are just completely different than men.
Okay.
Ted, how do you do intermittent fasting? I eat between 12 and 4 usually. I'm not dogmatic about it, but most days you'll catch me eating between 12 and 4.
So super chat should be enabled, guys.
What's super chat, dog?
People can donate and they can put questions in, and we basically answer them at will at the demand of the audience.
So they pay to ask a question?
Yes. Can you guys let me know in the chat if the thing popped up, because I just enabled it like right now, and I'm hoping I don't have to restart the thing for it.
I didn't see anything, dude, but you can start at the start of the next chat.
I like black coffee so much, I drink it room temperature cold. Like, that should tell people where I'm at on the black coffee scale. So, okay, water is interesting. Why do you drink so much water? I see that you have the...
I don't drink so much water. It's just when I'm talking, I like to stay hydrated. If I don't, mouth gets dry. When I'm doing webinars, I drink a lot of water. When I'm on a stage giving talks, I drink water. But throughout the day, I don't drink much water at all.
I don't drink that much water anymore. It's not necessary unless I'm consuming a lot of carbohydrates.
All right, dude. Where are we going from here? Are we donezo, or what's the deal?
No, we're not done. Unless you want to be done. I'm enjoying myself.
Well, yeah, you're high on the caffeine, dog. I got no stimulants with me right now. I jumped in the lake an hour and a half ago. I got my stimulant. Are
you tired or what? I haven't even worked out yet. I'm gonna work out after this.
I want to work out, dog.
Then I'm gonna eat lunch after that. So let's do at least 10 more minutes.
I'm down.
Okay.
I'm down. I just want to make sure we have something on the schedule here.
Okay. I want to bring up something. I have a couple things that there's a couple things left, all right? And I know I have one that's going to be fun to talk about. And then the last one on the docket in terms of like what a vegan thinks is, what do you think about Hong Kongians living the longest lifespans, the average lifespans on the earth right now? And they also consume the most amount of meat per capita. What is it like? How does that?
Cool. Great question. Thank you. Health and longevity, I believe, go hand in hand. I don't think you can live a long ass time if you're really unhealthy. I think health and longevity go hand in hand.
Okay.
Now, having said that, I believe there is so much more to health than just the food you eat.
Okay.
So much more to health. Probably the number one factor for health is a healthy state of mind. If you're a healthy state of mind, health is just a state of mind. If you believe you're unhealthy, you're going to be unhealthy. Shit's going to start to deteriorate. Your cells are going to listen. Your cells listen to every thought and every feeling you have. So if you believe you're healthy and you believe that what you're doing is the healthiest thing, your cells in your body are going to respond accordingly. This can be proven in so many different ways. But if you're not getting enough sleep, that's going to lower your quality of life. If you're hanging out with shitty people, that's going to lower the quality of your life. That's going to lower your vibe. If you're eating junk food, that's going to lower your vibe, of course. If you're not getting in any fit, you're not moving, you're just sitting around all day on a couch, that's going to lower your vibe. So healthy, long-living people, they do many things, and they all have many things in common. Anyone who lives over the age of 100, not anyone, but most people live over the age of 100 have things in common. Few of the things they have in common are they get enough rest. They either take naps, they meditate, they get plenty of sleep, they sleep in, they're not stressed, they just rest a lot. At the same time, they also move every day. It's the second thing. They always walk, they garden, they play, they're out and about, they're doing stuff, they're active. Okay? The other thing is they have a bond, they have family, they have friends that they connect with every single day. They have community. They feel connected. They feel important. They feel useful, which is why socializing is so important. They also have a belief higher than themselves. They have a belief higher than this right here. They believe in a higher power. They believe in a higher spirit or whatever. So they believe in something beautiful. And there may be a few other things I'm forgetting here. I think another one is they all eat locally. They all eat like as local as possible, like mostly local foods. So that could be another one there. But there's just so much more to health than just the food you eat. So this whole, I'm not saying, and I never once said this, that if you eat a carnivore diet, you're going to be unhealthy.
I don't think you've ever said that.
No,
and
I never said that.
That's amazing that you've said that. I was
talking to Elise yesterday on the phone. I was fascinated. I'm like, Elise, like, this is so, like, it's just like, she's like, so Ted, what do you think about it? And I'm just like, there's just like a hole in my knowledge of like how this is possible. Like, I just don't know how it's possible for people to eat meat, go 5 days without shitting, and still be healthy. Like, I haven't studied that. I've grown up in the past 10 years studying perks of bananas, benefits of a fruit diet. I haven't looked into the meat thing. All I know is that I don't like hurting animals. I don't like when animals get taken away from their parents, from their mothers. I just don't like the animal cruelty aspect. That's it. Like I said, if you can eat roadkill, awesome. If you can eat meat from a petri dish, awesome. And it makes you feel great, awesome. So this whole thing about Hong Kongers living a long ass time, like, cool. I think you can also live a long ass time. In fact, I'm anticipating that I'll be living well over age of 100, eating a fruit diet, a fruit-based diet. So there's just so much we don't know, you know, and longevity. There's so many, and another factor of longevity is they don't overeat. Anyone who's over 100 is not overweight. There's no fat old people. So if these Hong Kongers are the oldest living community, whatever, they're probably also the community that doesn't overeat.
Okay. I agree with all that you said there. Sorry, I'm like reading the chat a bit, but I shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah.
People are getting out of control. Luckily the mods are here smashing heads, and I totally appreciate that. Yeah, there's no fat old people. I agree. We know that being overweight is like one of the worst things that you can do for your health, and that's where I think a lot of the vegan studies come in. Is they're taking people that were overweight and very sick to begin with, and then they're saying, well, they reversed these diseases by going to a vegan diet.
Yeah, absolutely.
And all they really did was get them to lose weight, and that by itself lowered the risk of all these other biomarkers.
Dude, did you see that movie Fasting.org? Fasting movie?
No.
There's a whole documentary about like the benefits of the intermittent fasting, but all the people they put on intermittent fasting, they gave them a 12-hour eating window, and they all cleared all their diabetes and shit.
Yes. No, fasting is its own thing, and I would love to get into a full-on episode about that another time, because it's its own monster.
But the reason I bring it up is because it doesn't even matter what they were eating.
Yes.
They didn't say what to eat. They said how to eat.
Yeah. When to eat. They said when to eat.
Yeah, when to eat, which is part of how. How do you eat is the time.
And that's, honestly, I've had to think about that. But here's what I want to say is I did intermittent fasting as a vegan. And I did intermittent fasting now. 2 meals a day on both. And as a vegan, I could not get in enough protein specifically and enough calories for the day to feel, to perform my best. And I can do that on a meat-based diet very easily. Very easily. So it's like one diet is so nutrient and calorically rich, and the other one is not. It's very easy for me, digestive-wise, everything else, to do it on this diet, and it was basically impossible for me to sustain myself on the vegan diet doing the intermittent fasting. So I believe in intermittent fasting, but again, I'm not somebody who can smash 3,000 calories in one meal. And I know
how many calories do you have a day?
I'm eating about 2,500 on average, something like that. And also keep in mind that because there's no fiber in most of the food, I'm probably absorbing a much larger percentage of those calories than a vegan that's eating 2,500 calories.
Okay, so this is the thing we didn't talk about yet.
All right.
You mentioned, I forget where we talked about this, either in a DM, you and I, or in a YouTube comments, or on the phone or something, where you said we were agreeing on digestion issues, and we're saying how digestion is shit on lentils and beans, and most...
We talked about that today.
Cooked vegan. No, it was another time. I'm going to tie it in something. I talked about how digestion sucks on most cooked vegan food, but you were saying how your digestion was awesome if you're just eating oranges. Like shit flows really easily on just oranges, right?
Yes, definitely.
So digestion-wise, just fruit is going to be the best. Mangoes, you don't like papayas, but papayas, peaches, plums, nectarines, cherries, mangoes, you name it. And a lot of these vegans who are having digestion issues, they're not eating a fruit diet. They're not eating the food that was, as far as I'm concerned, designed to go in our body. They're eating all these foods that we would normally never touch. And the thing I love about the carnivore diet is that in nature, you got a couple options of what you can actually eat. You can eat roadkill, dead animals, and you can eat fruit. There's nothing else.
Yeah, raw, you mean?
Yeah, there's nothing else you're going to eat. You're not going to go eat grains. You're not going to go eat even potatoes. You're going to eat either meat or you're going to eat fruit. So you get two options as far as the most natural food to go in our body would be is meat and fruit. That's it.
I agree.
And the reason I don't eat the meat is because I'm fucking grossed out, but I don't want to participate in animal cruelty. So
I brought this up in the video towards you, is that you are, how do you feel about this? Like, how do you rectify this? You are contributing to animal cruelty.
How?
Yes. Even as a fruitarian. So I agree with you that fruit has less bykill than, let's say, a wheat-based or some of the soy-based vegan diet. And even Jackson's made the statement that a meat eater eating only grass-fed meat and only meat that they hunt is more vegan than somebody eating a conventional plant-based diet. And I agree with him. That's a very bold statement coming from an ethical vegan, but it's a fucking logical, true statement, objectively speaking. Now, as a fruit-based vegan, you are probably contributing to less bykill on your diet. However, based on where you live, you're not picking the fruit yourself, right? So you are very much so indirectly putting money into the pockets of people who are not vegan. Like the people who pick your strawberries and the people who pick your bananas and the people who drive your fruit to you and fly it to you and deliver it and stock the shelves, those people are not vegans. So in order for you to get your food, you're still buying into this system of consumerism and indirectly putting money into the pockets of these corporations, basically, and employees that are not vegan. And without them, to be honest, you wouldn't even be able to subsist on your diet whatsoever, pretty much anywhere in the world. Even if you're in Thailand, the people who pick your damn fruit there are not vegans. Let's be real here. Even in Hawaii, the people who pick your fruit are not vegans there. You know?
Yeah.
So, like, I'm guessing your answer is going to be something like, well, I can't avoid this. Because that's the truth. If you're eating the diet that, logically speaking, if you were there picking the fruit yourself, sure, that would be perfect. You wouldn't be harming any animals at that point, for the most part. But based on what you're doing, you are paying people who do harm animals to deliver you that fruit. So what do you say to that?
I never thought about that before. That's actually really interesting. I've never thought about that before.
And this is why it's important. It's because I want people to understand that their existence, their impact is inescapably harming animals. You cannot get away from it, no matter what. And I understand the vegan ideology of harming animals the least. But if that's what they're saying, harming animals the least, and that's what matters, then why aren't we all eating grass-fed pasture animals, which we know is the least amount?
Is it possible to do that? Is there enough space on the planet to have just grass-fed beef? Don't they take up so much freaking land?
Well, I don't want to pigeonhole myself here because, to be honest with you, I haven't done a whole lot of research on this, but there are people debating this back and forth in the real world that are more experienced on the the environmental aspect, and they know a lot more about it than we do. And a lot of these people are ranchers and farmers and very deeply tied in with this industry, and they are the ones that saying it's not only possible, but it's ideal. I don't know. I'm not making an assumption on that, but what I'm saying is if that's the goal, if that's the optimal goal for environment, ethics, all this other stuff, why aren't the vegans pushing that? You know, even if it's not possible yet, because right now it's not possible yet to exist on your fruit diet without the people delivering you that food and doing all this stuff. So you're not doing it. So why don't we go towards that goal, which is going to be the most environmentally ethical and everything else? Like, why isn't that the goal? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think to answer that first question you had about like why or what do I think about me buying fruit from a wholesaler and the people stocking the shelves at the wholesale, they're eating meat. Well, there's a couple things there. I believe every dollar we spend is a vote for what we believe in.
Okay.
That $2 that T. Trevor just donated, he believes in you. Every dollar he spent is a vote for what he believes in. And so he's donating $2 to you because he believes in Drew Morgan, right?
Yes. Well, he believes in us. He's saying thanks for the civil discussion. Apparently, we're getting through to people.
All right, sweet. I'll take 50%. Thanks, bro.
Yeah, that's not
happening. When I buy these dates, I'm voting for more dates. Whatever you buy, you're voting for more of. Okay, so
Right.
every dollar I spend on fruit, I'm voting for more fruit.
Okay.
And the money that the person stocking the shelf spends, that's up to them. Hopefully, they spend it on fruit as well.
Right.
But if they choose to go and buy animal products, they can go do that. We have that choice right now. But I'm not going to go vote for animal cruelty by buying a body part of a dead animal.
But you see, the point is that indirectly, no matter what you do,
sure, even when I drive a car, I hit bugs. But I just finished a 5-hour road trip the other day. At the front of my car is a bunch of dead flies and stuff. It's like RIP. I go for runs in the forest. RIP the ants, the slugs I may step on. Like, all right, that sucks. But at least I'm not intentional. At least I'm not intentional, but at least I'm doing my best to minimize, and I'm not overtly killing these animals and eating their body parts because I think I need to. I'm doing it by accident. Like, I'm doing it like shit, like sorry to these insects, basically. But if I give a homeless guy some money because he says, hey, I need money, I'm on the street. If I give him money and he goes and does crack, that's up to him. If he goes and buys a prostitute, that's up to him. If he goes and buys a gun and kills somebody, it's like, am I the murderer for donating to this homeless guy?
Right. No, I would say that you're not.
Right. So what people do with the money I give them is really up to them. It's not like they're saying, hey, give me money, I need to go buy a gun to go kill an animal.
Right, but I guess my point is that you are growing that industry. Like you said, you're voting for it, you are growing that industry. They're going to need to hire more employees, they're going to need to deforest more land or whatever they got to do.
Deforest land for what?
For planting more fruits and vegetables and more crops.
Deforesting land to grow more fruits?
Yeah, they can't just take
the biggest cause of deforestation is animal agriculture.
Well, that's not true, because there's already studies coming out on that, on the amount of the amount of grain-fed animals compared to the amount of animals that are in the world as far as animals that are owned, and it's like 1%. In the US, yes, we have a massive amount of this stuff, but when you take into consideration the entire world's animals that are used as far as pasteurized animals, things that people are going to eat, it's a very, very, very small percentage of that. So that's an important thing to realize.
Big cause of deforestation is not just the spot to put the animals, but it's to grow the grains, to grow the soy, to then feed the animals. That's causing the deforestation. It's not the papaya trees, dude. It's not the papaya farms. It's not the mango farms. The mango farms are the forest. The durian trees. The durian trees are the forest.
No. Where your dates come from, my friend? Where your dates come from? I've driven by. I know where those date fields are. I've driven by them on the freeway many times. They're in Southern California.
I've driven through Ecuador banana fields too.
Right,
that's forest right there. That's not deforestation. That's a banana forest.
The majority of fruit is not coming from fruit like fucking cacao. This fairy tale of cacao, how cacao needs to grow in the forest and it needs to be grown wild. Otherwise, it doesn't come out the same. That might be true for one particular fruit, but pretty much every other fruit is flattened land. The land is cultivated in order to grow that monoculture. That's just the way that it works. There's no massive
but the amount of calories
production.
you get, the amount of calories per acre that you get on a fruit diet is like 10x what you get growing animals, raising animals.
Yeah, but you got to eat 10x of it anyways. That's another thing that I love that vegans do, is they create these little snippets.
Calories is calories. What do you mean you got to eat 10x of it?
You say
calories are calories.
The amount of calories. Well, the amount of nutrition is what I'm saying. The amount of nutrition.
So you think you need 10 times more calories than you to get the same amount of nutrition?
Not necessarily 10 times, but I mean, it's if I can't survive on it, then what does it matter? What does it matter if those calories are there?
But
it doesn't even matter. Like you could give me infinite calories off of bananas, but if it doesn't do my body any good, like coconuts, you love coconuts. I love the taste of coconuts, but when I eat goddamn coconuts, my digestion completely stops.
The meat, you mean, or the water?
The meat.
Yeah.
If I eat coconut meat, it's a wrap. I can't.
Wait,
I'm basically
wait. The thick meat or the baby yogurt thin meat?
The drier it gets, the worse it gets.
Yeah, bro. I don't fuck with the hard meat. That's
But
like
even
the
still,
hard.
But even still, the baby meat is still extremely satiating, and not to the point where I'm full on it. Because hours later, I will be hungry, but I will physically not be able to eat a huge next meal. Does that make sense? It's like stopping the pipes, and that's just the way that coconut meat is, and it's always been that way. And I don't think it has
Your pipes are 5 days stopped already, bro.
No. There's nothing in there. Those pipes are clean, baby. Those pipes are clean.
Does your shit stink when it comes out?
No, because there's a lot less bacteria. Because fruit fiber is what brings in the bacteria. So the bacteria is what stinks in your shit for the most part. So imagine that. So you have bacteria coming in.
But my shit doesn't stink.
Well, and then in that case, I think the reason your shit doesn't stink is that you are literally passing the poop so quickly that bacteria does not have a long time to digest that food and create a big stink pile. So, in my estimation, you're not getting all the nutrition that you think you are from your food. Now, you are sitting here in front of us and you are coherently speaking and you are performing relatively well on your fruit diet.
I haven't, whatever.
But you do eat a lot. You do eat a lot.
Since yesterday at like 4 p.m. or something.
And I do want to say on fruit, the sugar that you're extracting from it through the fruit juices and things like that, I think is where you're getting the majority of your energy from. I don't think you're necessarily getting to the nuts and bolts of this fruit. I don't think you're getting all the minerals and vitamins that you think you are from the fruit. And I think that people can go a really long time without showing any of the negative consequences of this stuff. And whether you are exhibiting those or not, whether your body is more capable of recycling these things or not, like the amino acids within your muscles and things like that, I don't know how your body works exactly. None of us really know unless we test it. And I guess it all just keeps coming back down to my argument against vegans is that they want to believe that 100% of people can figure out the issue within the vegan diet. And some are starting to come to the realization that maybe that's not possible. And they're willing, like Jackson yesterday, is willing to say that there's people out there that cannot make it long-term on the vegan diet no matter what it is that they do. And those are the vegans I'm interested in, frankly, even speaking to, because that's a reasonable viewpoint. And again, I don't like the viewpoint of we're all different. I think it's a cop-out. I want to know fucking why we're different. I want to know what makes you able to eat a fruit diet long-term and what makes it not possible for me. You know what I'm saying? And we may never understand that scientifically speaking, but I do know that that's just the reality of it. And I know that that's a reality for a lot of other people. And I'm willing to sit here with a vegan and say, okay, there's 50% of people that can go a lifetime on a vegan diet, theoretically. And I'm willing to, and as long as you're willing to say 50% can't. But in reality, I believe that number is much bigger. I believe that 99% of people will not go the rest of their life on a vegan diet. Because that's the numbers that we have. We know for a fact that most vegans drop out of the vegan diet, usually around year 4 or 5.
How is that a fact? Where are the stats showing this? You're pulling this shit up from your ass, dog.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Where are you getting these numbers?
I'm getting these numbers from my own real life sample size.
There we go. Your own real life fucking.
Yeah, but it's like.
But these are facts, dog. You can't drop facts and say fact 99%.
Here's where vegans get their facts. They get their facts from anecdotes and epidemiology. Large sample sets of people who aren't even scientifically minded, people who are answering health questionnaires, what they ate. These people don't know shit. They're not fucking nutritionists. They're not dietitians or fitness people. I'm way more qualified than these people, to be honest with you. And so are you. You're paying a lot more attention to what you're eating than 99% of these people in these questionnaires to begin with. These fucking people don't know what they're eating. You know that. So when it comes to my results, yeah, I trust my results way more than I trust these other people's results. And when I trust the people's results that I know in real life, that were also on a similar page as me, that are keeping track of what they're eating, they're very conscious of it, and they couldn't make it work either, yeah, that means a lot to me. And when I go and I look at all my friends that lived in Hawaii, and I count 25 of them up, you're included in that group, you're still a vegan, so you're one of the 7 of the 25 that's still vegan right now.
Can you name drop the other 6?
Absolutely not. Sure. The 6 that are still vegan? No, I can't do that. I'm not going to do that.
Who are those 20? I don't even know 25 people in Hawaii, dog. Let me try and think.
That's right. I had to think of it for a few minutes. You got a lot of people that are in that group.
Did you include Wayne?
Wayne was not included.
Well, add them up, dude. That's 8.
All right, 8 out of 26. There you go. But Wayne didn't live there full time, so that's why I didn't include him there. And you didn't live there full time, but I guess Wayne does live there full time.
Yeah, he's there now.
All right, so there you go. 8 out of 26.
I want to know who the other.
No, we're not going to talk. We're not going to talk about that. We're not going to talk about that. Drew, you look better and happier in your vegan photos, by the way. You know, Ted actually took the photo that's in my thumbnail here. I used that on purpose.
I took both photos. There's one in your thumbnail and the one in your display pic.
Yeah, it's true. Ted took both of these photos. And yes, at that time, I want to point out to that person, at that
Drew
time,
looked good. I was attracted to Drew as a man.
At that time, that was the peak best of my vegan diet.
Oh, dude, that's when we were hanging out. It's like-minded vibes right there, bro.
Right.
Birds of like feather. You were inspiring me. I was inspiring you.
That's right. I looked the best at that specific time of the vegan diet, hands down. But other than that time, guys, I went back. Vegans get their facts from anecdotes. Drew Morgan, 2019. People think it's really funny that I bring up personal experience. Like, if a study says 99% of people are going to be able to do this diet, and you're the fucking 1%, what does it matter to you? What does it matter to you? You need to think logically here, not like an idiot. If you're the 1%,
Drew,
that piece of paper doesn't mean shit.
You know what there needs to be?
Science says no, hold on, Ted. Science says your personal experience is wrong. Incorrect. Science gives you a theory, it gives you a guideline. And then basically, you put that theory into practice. If that theory doesn't work for you in the practical world, it means nothing. It means absolutely nothing. So I hope that you can accept that. That's my stance on that. What were we going to say, Ted?
There needs to be... Do you remember back in the day with 30 Bad, where they had these like black and white guidelines?
That was just before I came to the vegan diet, but sure.
Okay, they had a lot of black and white guidelines, like 30 bananas a day, or you're undercarbed, or piss clear, right, or you're dehydrated.
Yeah, like that was the anecdotal science at that time.
Yeah, or like be able to run a sub 25K, or you're not fit. Right? Yeah, like they just had like these like black and white like rules for people to follow. Right. And for the most part, they were pretty helpful. At least they gave some people targets to aim for. They weren't very flexible, but at least they gave people targets nonetheless. So like I said, there are two natural foods, the most natural foods for humans. I hesitate to use the word food, but when it comes to meat, but there's two things that are natural that we can put in our bodies that we can clearly live off: meat and fruit. Right?
Well, what do you think about fruit not being hybridized and
hold on,
because that matters for evolutionary sake.
Hold on. We'll get there.
Okay.
But in nature, you wouldn't fuck with rice in its raw state. Okay? And every other animal on the planet's eating raw. I do not believe we've evolved to eat cooked food. You cut us open, and
we've been eating it for a million years, as I said.
If you cut us open, and you cut every single other animal out in the wild open, you'll see that our insides look similar to every other animal. We're raw animals. We're designed to consume raw foods. So clearly, you're proving we can eat raw meat. Clearly, I'm proving we can eat raw fruit. Right? Yes. You're doing very well on raw meat. I'm doing very well on raw fruit.
I'm not eating a lot of raw meat. I just want to clarify, but continue.
Yeah, but you could, right?
Yeah, sure. Yeah,
you could.
Yes.
In fact, I encourage you, try it for a day or something, see what happens. Anyways, we can't function well on just raw vegetables.
No, fuck no.
No, we can't function well on raw rice, beans, legumes, any of that shit.
Right.
Two things we can function well on, apparently, is meat and fruit. Right? So there needs to be, I think, some sort of now coming together, some guide, some program that aims to help people out with all their fucking issues and says, hey, here's two options. You can either eat meat or you can eat fruit. Anything, all the stuff in between is danger zone.
Okay.
Right?
I'm willing to accept that for sure. And by the way, I think fruit is one of the better things to eat. The only reason I don't eat fruit with my meat all the time is because
It
takes up a lot more stomach volume.
Absolutely,
basically.
absolutely.
I don't really have enough room for it. Is
Yeah,
kind of logistically.
Yeah. But I think that would be really cool. That'd be really unique, and I think the community right now would really like to take a look at that, take a look under the hood, and see like, oh, what, like, how exactly do you do a meat diet? How exactly do you do a fruit diet? Because there's 250 people in the audience right now.
Mm-hmm.
I bet half of them have never done either.
Right.
Half of them have never done a pure fruit diet, and half of them have never done a carnivore diet.
Right.
And for those who just don't give a fuck about ethics or the animal cruelty, I should say, the meat diet, great option. For those who do give a shit about the animal cruelty, then fruit diet, cool option. Try it out. Very few people are trying it. And yeah, I've never seen something like that come together. So it's just a thought I just had 5 minutes ago. But it'd be cool if there's like a guideline saying like, hey, here's what to eat, here's how to optimize it, here's what to avoid, here's what to look out for, here's what you can expect. Here's some tips and tricks to make it work. I think that'd be a cool little guide to put out there for people.
Yeah. What do you say about the hybridization? Because you were going to get into that.
Sure. Hybridization. Every single fruit is hybridized, as far as I'm concerned. Maybe not jackfruit, maybe not durian, maybe not some of those ancient fruits, but any fruit in the supermarket's hybridized. Every single vegetable is hybridized. Every single dog is hybridized. Freaking chihuahuas.
True.
Right? Like there's just hybridization is. I don't think it's a bad thing.
No, I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that, I guess the reason I bring it up is just from an evolutionary perspective. Like we wouldn't have consumed massive amounts of these fruits the way that fruitarians think that we did. Yes, I agree with you. In its raw state, fruit is extremely delicious and palatable.
Mm-hmm.
But if we're talking about like wild bananas that have like thousands of seeds in them,
oh, that's garbage, dude.
2 million years ago,
yeah, garbage.
Then those foods weren't available, is what I'm saying. And what we're coming to understand is that these fruits that we love to eat today are a result of farming practices, not so much nature's evolution. Do you see what I'm saying? If it was pure nature's evolution, then I would agree with you that that would be amazing. It would be something to point out to people that yes, we evolved on these fruits along with the meat, but I don't know that we did. I don't think that we did. So to do a pure fruit-based diet now is a little bit sketchy. Or at least it's more sketchier than eating meat, pure meat. At least we know we evolved on meat.
Do you not think cows are hybridized?
I'm sure to an extent, but
think the chickens are hybridized?
I'm sure to an extent they are, but the thing is, they're still
absolutely, dude. Absolutely. Of course they are. Every animal's hybridized, dude.
Maybe to be larger and have more fat, but the point is that we could just kill
just like
more
the bananas.
of them. No. But here's the difference. Here's the difference, though. Back in the day, we could just kill two chickens and then eat the 2 chickens if they were smaller chickens. But with the fruit, you're not just going to eat twice as many bananas because they're going to be full of these seeds and all this other crazy shit that we wouldn't even want to eat. This toxic material.
Bananas. I don't think we would have been eating lots of. I think we would have been eating lots of jackfruit.
Lots of jackfruit.
Lots of durian. Jackfruit, durian, mangoes, papayas. So
through our evolution, we basically ate.
Citrus.
Okay. Well, I think that's going to be a very, very long topic. So anyways, I think that we have covered a lot today. If there's any final topics that you'd like to bring up, we can do that now, I would say. Only other last thing that I don't even want to bring this up. But yeah, go ahead and say anything, any final words that you may have, any closing things, topics, anything that the audience wants us to talk about that we haven't covered yet.
I'm going to break this fast, dog. It's 12.
Go for it. That banana does not look very ripe. I know you're not into that.
It's just it's been super cold here.
Yes, I got you.
Let's see if it ripens up. I'll let you know if it's ripe. It peels easy. I had one yesterday. I think it was pretty good.
Let's see if there's any good questions in here. Guys, anybody have anything that you want us to cover? Give us some guidelines.
Cherimoya. Yeah. Cherimoya for sure.
Ted, do you take any supplements like B12?
Great question. I don't consistently supplement with anything. I take B12 every now and then. I take a mineral supplement every now and then, a little shot of minerals every now and then, like Shilajit. Those mushrooms, like reishi mushroom, shako mushroom, every now and then. Vitamin D every now and then. So.
Okay. Karen Burbayer says Ted has the point. Fruit wins. Okay. Let's see here. Yeah, Risto Yanakiv, you said if Fruitarian is so good, why are the vegans like vegan gains against raw vegan diets? We brought that up earlier, actually, and yeah, a lot of the things that vegans are pointing to about ex-vegans saying that there's a reason why they weren't successful are Ted's done all of these things and promoted these things. So obviously those are not directly related to why ex-vegans are leaving the diet, because Ted has done water fasting recently and has promoted it. Ted has done a long-term raw vegan diet, been raw vegan longer than Vegan Gains has been a vegan. So how does that make any sense, right? Do you have any fruit cravings? If no, I know you will in the future. Well, I know you're going to eat meat in the future, so let's not go there.
Who?
Fine Flow. He's a Mark Tassi fan.
Who's eating fruit meat in the future?
Fine Flow says I will have fruit cravings in the future. I do have sugar cravings. I do enjoy sugar. I enjoy carbohydrates. I think everybody does. But the more I eat, usually they come in the package of fiber, and the worse my digestion gets. Your previous statement of how little fruit you could eat, I'm concerned about your stomach guts. Ever get them checked? No, I could eat a lot of fruit. I could eat fruit, no problem.
Someone's asking about bowel movements.
Okay, let's hear it.
How frequently? How easily and how frequently? All right, my pisses take longer than my bowel movements.
As a vegan, that was the same for me too.
My pisses take longer. I stand and piss for like a full minute. And like some people check their phone when they're on the toilet taking a poop. I don't have time. I take my phone out and check while I'm pissing.
Yeah.
So they're really, really easy. And how often? Maybe like 4 or 5 times a day. Number 2, 4 or 5 times a day. Number 2.
Jackson says that his poops are extremely clean. How are your poops?
I remember that. He said that. And I was like, how is shit clean, man? Shit is like, it's shit.
Well, you say your shit doesn't stink.
Shit doesn't stink. But the word clean, like if there was shit on the ground, we say, oh, it's a clean ground. No, it's ground covered in shit. So like this banana is clean. There's no shit on the banana. As soon as the banana touches shit, it's no longer a clean banana. It's banana covered in shit. So my shits are scentless. My shits are effortless. And
but you're not saying they're clean.
They're covered in shit, dude. My shits are covered in shit.
How much toilet paper do you use?
Depends what fruit I'm eating. But often just one thing, one wipe.
So I think it's funny that Freely and During Rider back in the day, they promoted the actually 2 things about that. They promoted shit buckets to shit in your bucket and then feed your plants with the human manure, which by the way is extremely dangerous because you can transfer your pathogens to those plants and then other people will eat those plants and they can get those pathogens from you, which is disgusting. The second thing is they are the ones who promoted using bidets, built-in bidets into the toilet.
Yeah.
And I thought that was really funny because now I use so little toilet paper, I don't even need to really clean up at all because there's nothing there. Mm-hmm. And yet they're the ones who low-key, instead of using a bunch of toilet paper, they tried to be all eco-friendly and install these bidets to fucking clean their ass. Like they need a shower every time they shit. That should tell you something about the diet that they were eating.
Dude, it's common practice in Thailand. I mean, that's all they have. They have bum guns, they call it. Bum gun.
Okay.
And if you've ever been to Thailand for a few months and used a bum gun, your ass feels like truly clean after because it's just like power.
But if there's nothing there to begin with, you don't need a bum gun. You barely even need toilet paper. Like you could become so confident on the diet that I'm eating where you almost don't need to even use toilet paper anymore. I'm not saying not to do it, to just check. I'm just saying
no, for sure.
It's so clean that you don't need to do that. Yeah,
and that's that can happen sometimes too, eating certain fruit. Certain fruit sometimes leave nothing behind down there. So it's really interesting that you're getting that on meat too. I had no idea.
It's incredible on meat. And that was my base. That was my part of my baseline for a successful digestive system as a vegan was how clean it was.
Someone's
From start
asking
to
how
finish.
often Drew poops.
I
Drew
saw that.
poops once every 5 days.
No, that's not true. I generally poop once every other day right now. I do eat a little bit of carbs.
How come
and
you
that
said every 5
definitely-
days one time?
Because I wasn't consuming milk and I wasn't consuming any carbohydrates at that point. That was my first 40 days of carnivory. I was doing just meat and just cheese, and I was not consuming milk, and I was eating just a little bit of cheese. Drew, where do you get your fiber? I don't eat a lot of fiber. Don't need fiber. Come to the AY Discord. I don't know what that is. Why isn't toilet paper needed for goats? That's exactly my point. No animal in nature wipes their ass if they're eating the correct diet. There's a reason my Rottweiler has diarrhea sometimes. It's because he's not eating his natural diet. If he was eating raw meat, that motherfucker would be shitting solid bricks. Just like me. Yeah, if anything, I have the opposite problem now. It's not the poo is the opposite of soft, basically.
What are your thoughts, Drew, on the fact that all carnivorous animals in nature,
Oh, ask yourself, debate server.
all carnivorous animals in nature, Drew, their intestinal tract is about 3 times the length of their body, whereas humans is 12 times the length of their body? What are your thoughts on that?
A useless association. we do not have the stomach that our ancestor monkeys do. We do not have a cecum. We have an appendix. It's very small, and it does not house the necessary bacteria to not only digest this food properly and efficiently for us, we also do not contain the fermentation chamber that is required to house this fiber and let it ferment for long periods of time. We do not have a foregut or a hindgut. We are missing critical pieces of the puzzle in order to digest large quantities of plant matter. On top of that, we have the low stomach acid. And on top of that,
Low
we have
stomach acid? I thought you said we had high stomach acid.
No. Well, low pH, high stomach acid. Low pH means we have a very high amount of stomach acid.
Yeah.
Drew is shaking. Where do these people come from, dude? Where do you trolls come from, dude?
She's from my city, yo. She's like 10 minutes away from where I live.
Where do you trolls come from? Go back to your rock, man. Just stay out of this. This is for grown-ups. Good Lord, man. These people would never say a word to your face in real life. Plantriotic, let's say, okay. Plantriotic says, I am not raw now, just whole food plant-based. But Drew says it only goes one way. You have to be small as a raw vegan, and I was huge and strong. He is lying to you all.
Yeah, I mean, this whole huge thing, Drew, like, the whole size thing is bullshit. You can be big on a vegan diet. You can be big on raw. It's just so much harder on raw than it is on cooked. But you can definitely be big, man. I can point out the numerous. Look at Doms Thompson, dude. Look at, obviously, you can say Nime Delgado. You might say steroids, but he denies it. Look at John Venus. Look at Mike Vlacity. And the reason it's so easy to look at vegans and say, oh, because you look at vegans and say, oh, they're all skinny. Most of them are into endurance cardio.
Because that's all they can do.
Because veganism really benefits cardio. It's so easy to do long endurance on high carbohydrate.
Correct, because that's what you need to
and
fuel
the only
those
way
workouts,
to
so
get big, the only way to get big is to eat in excess calories and lift heavy weights. So if you're lifting heavy weights and you're eating excess calories, you're going to get big.
No. Let's talk about this. Okay, Jackson, Ted.
So,
and I'm talking to myself as well as a vegan. None of us got large and strong and lean at the same time as a vegan.
Because we didn't try.
No, it's fucking impossible. It's fucking impossible to eat a high carb, high calorie diet and maintain a reasonable semblance of body composition as you get larger. So yes, you can gain strength by overeating calories and hitting your protein numbers as a vegan. Yes, you can do that. But you're also going to gain a shitload of fat with it. And that's what happened to Jackson. That's what happened to you. Happens to you when you start growing and getting stronger. You take on a bunch of fat, and that's just what happened to me too. And it happens to every single person that tries it. And these guys that are fucking massive, like Brian Turner and John Venus, they made their goddamn bodies before they went vegan. And look at what they eat. They eat so much processed vegan food. I've watched Brian Turner's videos. He made this video today trying to trigger everybody else. Listen, these guys are delusional. That's fine. Brian Turner, you're a nice guy. That's fine. But the thing is that these guys are eating massive amounts of processed vegan food and protein shakes. Not one of them, not fucking one of them, would be able to maintain their size without processed vegan foods, and that includes vegan protein powders. And by the way, guys, I'm taking 0 protein powders these days, and if I want to gain weight, I can, and I've already done it, and I'm currently doing it right now. In about 3 to 6 more months, I should have another 10 to 20 pounds, 10 to 15 pounds of lean body mass on my body with very little fat gain, by the way. And yeah, people bring up steroids. I'm not even talking about steroids. Steroids are irrelevant, man. Steroids, and that's what that's what Durian Rider points to. I can give somebody steroids on 30 grams a day, and they're gonna grow. They're gonna be a fucking
try his
beast.
accent, dog. Don't even
It's
try the
bullshit,
accent.
dude. It's bullshit. That's such bullshit. And all that is a case for how powerful steroids are. Doesn't mean shit. Again, the meat and the high protein stimulates the hormones. That's another thing that people don't understand. Eating that meat, especially leucine, activates certain pathways that make you grow. mTOR, leucine, things that these vegans have no idea what they're talking about, man. And I'm gonna go on a podcast this week with Jonathan Irizarry, by the way, guys. Fucking badass, big ass professional bodybuilder.
Drew,
Yes,
do you
he's on
want
steroids.
Drew, do you want to come to Canada Fruit Fest and give a talk on raw meat?
I don't do raw meat.
I mean, your carnivorous diet.
Hey, you want to fly me there? I'll do it.
You want to surround yourself with hundreds of vegans for a few days?
No, I have it. I have vegan intolerance. So, anyways, it looks like I shut down the little haters there. So enjoy that.
You shut down the haters. What does that mean?
Just talking about the theory of being able to get huge and strong on a low protein vegan diet just irks the shit out of me. Nobody's doing this on a raw vegan diet. There's a couple mythical unicorns that are floating around claiming to do this, and I'm going to name one right now. Chris Califano. Chris Califano is somebody you guys have probably even never heard of. He's a fucking jacked dude in his 40s. If I had to guess, and I don't call steroids out often, ever, but if I had to guess, that guy would fit the bill. He's in his 40s. He's very lean. He's very strong. And he claims to have done it all on a raw vegan diet. And that, to me, screaming out bullshit. Because there's nobody else doing that. Mike Velocity doesn't even look like he lifts. Sorry. It's true. And he's strong as fuck.
He's not a bodybuilder, dude.
He's
just
way stronger than me.
He's a strength trainer. He's not a bodybuilder. He's not trying to look the part. He's trying to just lift heavy.
The point is, though, is that guy is a genetic freak. He's also the right proportions for strongman type of stuff or powerlifting type of stuff. So what are you going to say? Like, there's some people who have a much higher baseline strength than other people. But it doesn't have anything to do with how you gain that strength.
I think at the end of the day, Drew, should we wrap this up? At the end of the day.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
There's a couple things people want.
Okay.
People want to feel good, and people want to look good.
Yep. And the vegans have duped people into coming to the diet through the feeling good and the looking good.
Yeah.
And then they try and bait them into the ethical thing. And this is another issue that I have with the diet.
I got into veganism for the ethical thing.
Okay, good. I didn't know that, by the way, and I say that in the video, that I didn't know or ever consider you an ethical vegan.
Yeah, I only came into the vegan movement for the animals. The health was just a perk, a plus. I didn't know it was supposed to be. I thought it was actually unhealthy to do that. Anyways, so there's a couple things people want. They want to look good. They want to feel good. This whole performance thing. It's like if you want to be able to perform,
yeah,
you need to go and perform.
Yes.
Eating food's not going to fucking magically make you Michael Jackson or Michael Jordan or Michael Phelps. It's not going to make you an amazing performer. You need to actually go train.
Right.
But you're saying if you want to look good and feel good, eat body parts of animals. I'm saying if you want to look good and feel good, you can eat fruits.
Okay.
Right?
But what I'm saying is there's a much larger percentage of people that are not only able to do what I'm saying with more effectiveness, but that is what I'm saying, is that there's a larger percentage of people that are going to be able to do what I'm saying with effectiveness and longevity and get those results, whereas there's not very many people getting the results that you're saying. And it's not just because there's less people doing it. It's because those results are very hard to come by, nearly impossible long term is what I'm saying. If you could just end this whole thing right now by saying, I'm a genetic outlier.
But
what I'm doing is specific to me.
How am I a genetic outlier? I'm just a fucking regular guy, man.
Because there's people doing what you're saying, and they do not get anywhere near those results.
They're not doing what I'm saying, dude. Like, I asked you what you ate, and you said that you ate exactly like me, and then you told me what you ate, and I'm like, that's not how I eat.
Okay, fair enough. But I'm sure there's people that you've been around that have attempted to eat exactly what you eat, and they get nowhere near the results that you get. They're not even able to maintain body weight.
Eating a fruit diet, you're gonna drop weight for sure.
Okay, but you're not dropping weight right now. You're able to gain weight.
I'm eating a lot, dude.
Okay, so all right, continue. Sorry.
So, anyways, to wrap it up, at the end of the day, people want to look good, they want to feel good. You're saying you can do it on meat. I'm saying you can do it on fruit.
Right.
If you want performance, you have to go train.
Yes, I agree.
That's pretty much what it comes down to. Now, the only reason I'm not eating a meat diet, I probably would eat a meat diet, dude. It sounds great. I'm a curious guy. I'm very open-minded. That's why we're not like having an argument here or anything. I'm very open-minded. I would do the meat thing if it didn't mean that I had to kill animals. If it didn't mean that animals had to die.
If I offered you 30 days of guilt-free meat eating via me being vegan.
It's not the guilt thing. It's the fact that the animal has to die.
No. But you would eat the fruit and I would go vegan in place of you.
I would eat
you.
The what?
You would eat my meat and I would eat your diet for 30 days and then we catalog it and we YouTube it so that we're not bullshitting. So what I'm saying is we're trading places.
Contribute to,
but you wouldn't be because I would stop eating that meat. So you would get to eat my food supply and I would eat what you're eating.
But then I would be there voting.
No. You wouldn't, because that food would be getting consumed either way. And this is what people say about the freegan bullshit. That food is getting thrown away either way. So that food is already consumed. Because if you don't take this offer, I'm going to keep eating meat. That's what I'm saying. It's a neutral.
There's
scenario.
There's another part of the conversation that we didn't get into yet, and that is, I believe we are what we eat. And when we eat high vibrational foods, we experience high vibrational moods. The food we eat is part of who we become. So we're eating really good
until that food turns on you and basically you can't consume it anymore and it makes you fucking sick. I know people, and you know this person as well, that has become literally allergic to bananas after consuming them for 10 years.
I don't know this person.
You do know this person.
Does the name start with a J?
Yes, it does.
And is there E and a Y in there maybe?
Yes, there is.
I didn't know it was an allergy, dude.
Yes, 10 plus years consuming the same banana smoothie every day, and he loved it. You know that. And now he's fucking allergic to it.
He didn't tell me that.
Breakouts on his fingers. His hands get scales on them when he consumes them. He has to switch his fruit supply. And this could happen to you. It could. I'm not saying it will, but it could, and that's going to be a very damning fucking day. What we do know about meat is that people can consume it for a lifetime. We do know that.
There's people who've been doing raw a lot longer than me. There's people who've been eating fruit a whole lot longer than me.
And who's getting the good results? Please don't point to these big namers because they're all getting terrible results. And people clown on them all day long.
Who?
You talk about a Doug Graham, you talk about a Sarah Osborne. These people don't look very healthy to the average person.
Sarah Osborne? You mean Ann Osborne?
Ann Osborne, yeah.
Yeah.
People don't think these people look. I don't think they look healthy. To be flat out, they may be nice people. They may be great people. They may still have their mental capacity intact, but they don't look very healthy. And you got these guys like John McDougall. Look at him falling apart right now. He doesn't look good at all. 71 years old, and he's like, I mean, it's damning information.
What are your thoughts on Lou Corona?
Lou Corona looks good, but I mean, how much plastic surgery does that guy do? And by the way, he does a very different
Zero plastic surgery.
He does a very different diet than everybody else.
Zero plastic surgery.
How much supplements and enzymes does that guy take per day? He owns a supplement company.
Do you think that's the secret?
Absolutely. He's basically mimicking the ability to break down these foods. That's why Dan McDonald's able to go so long on this diet. He's breaking down the foods via digestive enzymes. He's fucking cheating.
So you think
I can't break it down? Let me take digestive enzymes to do it for me.
So you think if we all just get on enzymes, we'll be good?
It's gonna help. It's gonna fucking help. How could it not? It's like pre-digesting the food for you. Of course it's gonna help. I notice a big difference when I eat ultra pasteurized milk versus raw milk. Just that subtle difference right there allows the raw milk to digest so much better in my body. If I eat ultra pasteurized milk, which has all the bacteria killed out of it to have longer shelf life, to make the milk cheaper, that milk gives me constipation, especially when I'm doing OMAD. There's just not enough flowing through the pipes. It's fucking dangerous. Not recommended, guys. Very dangerous. Now, that's what I'm saying.
You think eating a watermelon is not going to break down very well? Or oranges are not going to break down very well? They're already pre-digested, dude. Look at the freaking papayas.
Okay, you're talking about a couple of the things that have the least amount of fiber associated with them. Let's talk about the more difficult to digest foods and vegetables especially.
Bananas? You think bananas are difficult to digest?
They're okay, right? but here's the thing. You're going to digest more of the nutrition from them. Like, it's not that these, like, you can name a few fruits that will digest perfectly fine and you'll shit them out and there won't be any issue. Even in me, bananas, oranges, mangoes, peaches, I could eat these things and have no digestive issues.
Of course you could. You're human, dude.
But am I getting all the nutrition I can out of them? No, because I cannot break down that fiber. So I'm not getting to half of that nutrition. That's just the facts. Now, if
that fiber, dude, you're going to absorb all the liquid from those foods.
Okay, but the nutrition isn't in the liquid.
The
sugar is in the liquid. No. The sugar is in the liquid. The nutrients.
When you juice something and drink it, you're saying you're only getting sugar from the juice?
That's different. You're fucking juicing it. Now I need a $500 juicer to properly juice my.
No, you take an orange, you squeeze it, and you drink it. Boom.
Okay, you're talking oranges.
Yeah, I could do the same with peaches. I could squeeze the peach.
All right, and there's still
juice. Drink it.
There still needs to be a breakdown of that cellular fiber and being able to get into that material. Yes.
When I eat a peach and I take a shit after, all the nutrients. Oh, there's a cool little beaver outside right now. All the nutrients I'm getting from that peach that I'm eating is going to be in the liquid. Everything I shit out, it's just the fiber.
Yes. That's what I'm saying is you're not getting into that fiber. Whatever nutrition is locked away, minerals, vitamins in that fiber, you're not getting what's in the fiber.
But that all gets extracted as it goes through the intestines, which are 12 times the length of my body.
No. At best, you're getting up to 10% of the nutrition because the bacteria is breaking down the fiber, and the fiber is then being absorbed. Or sorry, the off material, which is short chain fatty acids and other vitamins and minerals. This is where cows get their B12 from, by the way. All vegans, cows are injected with a B12. That's how they get it. No, you dummies. Salmon eat the algae. That's how they get it. No, you dummies. They make it themselves. And they're better at converting it than humans. And by the way, cows have multiple stomachs. And they have fermentation chambers for the bacteria to break down the shit. And they absorb those short chain fatty acids to the tune of 60+% of their daily calories. Cows are eating the majority of their calories from fat, not fucking carbohydrates. Boom.
Cows are eating the majority of their calories from fat, not grass.
They eat the grass. The bacteria ferments the grass in their stomach via some crazy complicated processes. They chew it up. They spit it. They chew it up in their mouth. They swallow it. They eat it again. Bacteria breaks that down. The bacteria creates short chain fatty acids and all these vitamins and extracts some of the minerals. And the cow's stomach is able to then digest those things. Around 60% of their daily calories are being absorbed via short chain fatty acids from the off materials of the bacteria from the fiber breakdown, because the bacteria is eating the fiber, right? Bacteria is creating this material, which is then being absorbed by the cows and by humans as well. Humans can do this up to 10%, though, in their colon.
You think when I eat a peach, I'm only absorbing 10% of the nutrients?
No, because you're getting a lot of the sugar from the liquid. But when you're talking about the vitamins and minerals, those can be locked away in the fiber itself.
Those can be locked away in the fiber
Correct. So you're not getting all of those in that food. You can't break that down. You cannot break down. But clearly
I'd be getting enough. I may not be getting all, but I'm getting enough.
Allegedly. I mean, I think our bodies are amazing. We can go many years on eating terrible shit. There's people like fucking Usain Bolt won the Olympics eating McDonald's. It's like, okay,
that's
cool.
A great marketing story, but not true.
My grandfather smoked cigarettes till he was 105. Great. Does that mean that everybody should smoke cigarettes? No. Does that mean everybody should do a fruit diet and will be successful? No.
Okay, here's the last question.
All right, let's fucking wrap this up because I got to do an outro and you want to go work out and I got to work out.
Last question, dog. How come? Like, there's a beaver that just ran by. I wish everyone saw that. How come if my dog saw that beaver, it would go after it and want to eat it right away? True carnivore. When I see a beaver, I'm like, oh, look at the beautiful beaver. I see a deer, I'm like, oh, look at the beautiful deer. But when a dog sees a deer, it wants to go after and grab it and eat it. How come we're not like that? How come we want to observe and say, oh, look how beautiful the animal is, but carnivorous animals want to go after and eat them right away?
I mean, dolphins have friends in the ocean. They don't eat everything that they see. They're a bit more intelligent. It's just like we are. People say that dolphins are smarter than humans. I don't know about that, but they're intelligent creatures. They don't attack everything they see. They even interact with humans in the wild. Like, it's like you can't compare the two intellects. You know what I mean? And I want to point out too.
Would it not be instinct?
Yes, but instinct when it's necessary. For instance, a lion, people have lions as pets, right? Now, these lions can grow up alongside of dogs.
Mm-hmm.
And when as like a cub or whatever. And that lion grows to a huge, full-grown, badass lion. But guess what? Even though in the wild, if it ran across this dog, it would eat it. It learned through social cultivation, being socialized with this dog, that it's not okay to eat this dog. It's his friend.
Mm-hmm.
So unless this lion got crazy hungry or attacked by this dog, it doesn't harm this dog. You can go watch videos of captive lions being friends with dogs and playing with them and stuff like that, right? So This stuff, like, it's not relevant. Like, it doesn't matter that we don't just axe murder every fucking animal that we see. We don't do that to each other either. It would be weird.
But how come every time a dog's there and sees a squirrel and it's gonna go after it? Every time we see a squirrel, like, oh, cool, a squirrel. But there's
because it thinks it's enjoyable. How come every time that you see a hot chick walk down the street, you stare at her ass?
Because I'm human, dude.
That's right. That's what a dog does. That's what a dog does, and that's what humans do. It doesn't matter. It's like
but then when we look at fruit, we're so attracted to it, we want to eat it right away. It's just like instinct. Like, oh, and kids naturally want to climb trees. Parents have to say, hey, come down from the tree. Why are these kids naturally climbing trees all the time? Could it not be because we're designed to climb fruit trees?
Maybe because we evolved from monkeys and we enjoy doing those activities, naturally speaking.
And love eating fruit, right? From a young age?
Sure. We might enjoy eating fruit, but does that mean we get all of our nutrition that we need from it? No, absolutely not. We also evolved to eat the meat as well. We know that. That's how our brains grew. That's the best scientific evolutionary explanation we have to why our brains grew. And why our stomachs shrunk, by the way. It's all tied together. Our stomach shrunk, our brains grew, we needed a larger calorie source and a smaller package. Our stomach shrunk?
So you think we can't fit in enough food from fruit?
Some people can, some people can't. Some people can, some people can't. Again, it comes down to optimization. Are you optimal? You will never know because you are not trying what we're talking about. That's another issue I have with the vegan diet, is that based on the ethics, which are debatable on their own front, which we already talked about, because there's grass-fed meat eaters that are superior on ethics compared to conventional fruit eaters, right? Dude, so you can't try what I'm saying.
It's not that I haven't tried it. I tried the first 18 years of my life eating meat.
You didn't try it like this. And here's the thing. You could do this for 30 days and go right back to eating fruit. But I know you won't do it. I know most vegans wouldn't take that. So I'd like to wrap it on that unless you have something last minute to say, but I think we can call it there. What do you say?
How long do we go for?
About 2.5 hours. And I'm gonna continue on with the audience for a minute after we're done. A little debriefing. Which
dude, I think it was pretty good. Any final words? I'll see y'all this summer at the Canada Fruit
everybody,
Fest.
Canada Fruit Fest. If you want to support Ted, I'm going to link his channel below once this video goes into my channel.
It's not the Canada Fruit Fest to support Ted. It's Canada Fruit Fest to come hang out with a bunch of really awesome vegans for 4 days.
Some vegans are great, guys. Some vegans are. I'll talk about this after Ted leaves. All right, guys. Well, Ted, thank you for coming. I really appreciate this conversation. I loved it.
Thanks,
I think we covered some awesome stuff. I'm glad that you wrangled me down for this because I was questioning it even this morning. But
really,
yeah, I've done so many this week. I was just a little burnt out, but this re-fired me up.
Awesome, bro.
All right, hey man, thank you. I really do appreciate it.
Hey, can I get you on my channel in the future?
Sure, absolutely. Let's do later this week or maybe next weekend.
We should do a day in the life where we hang out and we vlog each other.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll peace out on you now, but thanks again.
All right.
Peace out. Later, Ted.
Ciao.
Okay. All right, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. That was really dope. I'm really glad that we did that. And thanks for everybody for coming to support. I'm going to hang out for a few minutes. I like to do a little outro debriefing with everybody. Let's see here. Any questions? We adapted to eating meat and became omnivorous in nature, but were frugivorous initially, just as all our primate cousins. Yeah, I agree. We adapted to eating meat over millions of years. It grew our brains. It shrunk our stomachs because we didn't need so much volume anymore. And we evolved away from our primate cousins. You know, we may share 98% of the DNA or whatever from a bonobo monkey, but we don't look anything like them, do we? We don't talk like them. We don't walk like them. Almost nothing is the same anymore, is it? Okay. Yeah, somebody says we should do that chat again in 5 years. I think that would be pretty interesting, wouldn't it? Ted's eating meat, and I go back to being vegan, huh? Let's see here. That means vegans haven't evolved then. Well, I just think that I think vegans are some of the best at ignoring some of they're the best at ignoring symptoms because they are mentally locked down into this ethical paradigm, this ethical bubble that keeps them from being able to try anything outside the diet. It's like being imprisoned in their diet. So they come up with studies and all this other rational information to try and rationalize what they're doing via science and all this other information. Yet at the end of the day, they're still not feeling that good. That's why I just have a results-based approach. If you are getting superior results on a vegan diet than anything else you've tried, then by all means, go eat that diet. If you feel amazing, if you truly feel amazing and you truly are getting good results. But I think a lot of vegans are ignoring the results and ignoring their symptoms because I know a lot of people that did that. Where do I get ribeyes for $5? I shop at Stater Brothers. It's a chain in California. $4.99 a pound, $5.99 a pound, all the time. It's amazing. And yes, they're conventional. And yes, I'm sorry about it. Let's see. Senka is vegan and has amazing results. Great. I really, truly support you. And the more I talk to vegans that have good results, the more I'm willing to accept their position doing what they're doing. However, if you've only been vegan 1, 2, 3 years, just know that at some point in the future, things may change for you. And when that time comes, I hope that you're open-minded enough based on what we're all sharing with you and trying to tell you, because I went vegan 4.5 years. And of course, probably up until vegan year 4, we wouldn't even have considered leaving the vegan diet. Ted's argument about humans not being attracted to hunting, that's flawed because it's largely based on education and culture. Maybe tribe hunter-gatherer. I agree with that. I think that if you look at the Maasai children, you know, they're sitting there gathering around dead cows and they're like literally just bathing themselves in the blood, and they're eating this meat raw and they're enjoying all of it, including the liver and the organs. So it's a cultural thing for sure. And it is what it is. So ST wants to share with you guys, he's getting superior results coming from a borderline carnivore diet. As a chicken farmer, it's reversed all of his health issues, and he understands it the opposite. That's where I'm at. And like I said multiple times in this interview, is I really hate the cop-out excuse that we're all different. Yeah, we're all different, but I believe that we're all closer than we realize. You know, yes, it's like a bell curve. There's going to be some guys that can do fruit on this side, fruit only and long term, and have good results. And there's going to be people that can do, I guess, carnivore only on the other side. But I believe that the bell curve is more shifted over into the carnivore side. More people can do that than people can survive on a fruit-based diet. It's a very difficult thing to do. Do I think Ted's worried after this conversation, or that he questions the diet? I mean, what do you think? You know, I was in the moment. I didn't get to watch that as a spectator. I was engaged in the conversation, moving it forward. What do you think? Evan Rock wants to come on the channel, by the way. Annette Larkins. Who knows what that lady's doing? I've heard people say she's had plastic surgery done and she's got basically everything in the book fake-wise, but I don't know. I have no idea, man. Annette again, it doesn't matter that this one person can do it. It's like they're a genetic outlier. You got to realize that people fucking lie on the internet and in the news, man. Go look up Genesis Sunfire. That's a guy who claims that he was living on as a breatharian for many years. Like, his story is so captivating. I legitimately was like looking into the shit to see if there was even any truth to it. Then I became a member of this breatharian group on Facebook, and he was a member of that group. It was a private group. And basically that guy has removed himself from society completely with his wife, and he won't even go into public anymore. And he says he made a couple final statements in that Facebook group. And he basically said that he made up a lot of the things that he said. He doesn't think that a 100% breatharian diet is even possible. And he talks about the stages. Like, when he would say, I'm 100% breatharian, what he really meant was he consumed a little bit of food here and there. So he was basically on like a long-term fast. And you got to understand what people are saying is different than the reality. And then sometimes years later, they come out with the reality. Oh, actually, I was eating. Sorry to mislead you all. Drew, you have no idea whether you are optimal either. Elbow V. I have a good clue if I'm optimal or not, because I have the perspective of a long-term meat eater that's gone long-term vegan. I've tried every single method of veganism, and now I'm back to meat eating in a way that's, it's debatably the healthiest way that you can consume meat, which is high meat, low carbohydrates with it. I'm not spiking blood sugar all day long. Plus, I'm intermittent fasting. I'm going by my results. How is my body composition? How do I feel? How's my mental health? How's everything else? I feel amazing and capable. I did not feel totally capable as a vegan. I feel very capable these days. Debate Joey Carbstrong? Absolutely not. I will never have him on my channel. No, thank you. No, thank you at all. Yeah, Evan Rock's a very interesting case. I can't wait to get him on the channel because, Evan has a farm and he's a 10+ year vegan. And I don't know how much he'd be willing to say against the vegan diet. I know that he does primarily consume still a primarily plant-based diet, but with the supplementation of very high quality animal products. Yeah, the fruit nut. You are a fruit nut. You got these guys on the internet like Mark Tassi and Gary Carbo Fruit Raider. Just go watch these guys on their channel. Watch the way that they communicate with the camera. Watch what they do. How labored and slow they are in their movement and what they do. Their lifestyle in general. I find them fascinating in like those shows like My 600 Pound Life. Like, it's fascinating to watch these people and see their psychology. And those guys are definitely, in my opinion, they're not healthy. Plants have provitamins, and success on plant-based diets depends person's ability to conversion and digestion. 100%. It all comes back to digestion. ST, thank you, man. I appreciate everybody who donated too. That's really dope. It's my first time enabling the super chat. And yeah, I would like to get more discussions going. So many failures on the vegan diet. So many. Freestyle. Okay, so Freestyle says so many failures on the vegan diet, none on carnivore. That's not true. That's not true. I want to say that I have been coaching some people behind the scenes for free, and we've been discussing their results, and they've attempted a carnivore diet. They're coming from very different paths. These people have struggled, especially towards the end of their vegan journey. And one of these guys is a 12-year fruitarian, and he's not having the best time right now. But he also has a lot of guilt and ethical things surrounding his consumption of the meat. He doesn't like to eat the red meat. Like, I can't control what they're going to eat. You know what I mean? And I tell them, hey, if the fruit is going to fix the issue for you, go eat the fruit, man. Go eat the fruit for a couple days. You're not going to... There's nothing wrong with trying to adapt more slowly. Poops every 5 days is not constipation unless you feel like you have to shit and you can't go. How hard is that for people to understand? If you do not feel like you have to shit, you're not constipated. This is ridiculous. God, people are so stupid. I failed on carnivore and vegan. Hey, you can fail on both, man. Christian, you say, so he's mentally ill. You know, honestly, he's a self-admitted extremist with diet, and I'm really trying to help him out with it. But honestly, people that are going to come to me for coaching and are not going to do what I'm saying, and they want me to like convince them or talk them into it. I can't do that. I can't do that for them. They need to willingly want to do that. And then they can say, okay, this is working or it's not working, objectively speaking. And if they do what I say or they do what the carnivores say and it doesn't work, I totally accept that. But if they want a friend who's going to talk to them all day long about how to get over the guilt of the vegan diet, the guilt of consuming animal products, I don't have much to say to these people. I'm sorry. And I thought I did too. Dealing with people's emotional side is very difficult, convincing them that it's okay to eat meat. So Fine Flow, you're an anti-meat eater, I understand. You're a Mark Tassi fan, so I understand that you're going to have this extremely biased, wackadoodle point of view. You're saying a lot of carnivores fail the diet eventually. It's just not as present yet because it's a new thing. The thing is that failing carnivore just means that you're including more plant foods. You're eating a more balanced diet, but you're still eating meat. You don't fail carnivore and then go back to veganism. Nobody's doing that. A couple people have done it, and I know one person in particular. This person was extremely guilted by the people around them that talked them into it, basically. Guilted them back into it. Made them feel like shit for eating meat products. And this person let that judgment get the best of them instead of trusting their own body and their own results. And you know what? There's nothing I can do to help that person. You want my blood tests? Fruit Nut, I had extremely good blood tests as a vegan. How's that for transparency? 2 years in, after Rawtail 4, I had very good blood tests. I had high testosterone. I had good blood glucose levels. I didn't do a full panel, so I don't know my vitamins and minerals and all that stuff. But everything else was really good. I had low cholesterol, which I thought was amazing at the time. But it was actually falling on the lower unsafe end, which the blood panel tells you is you're starting to get unsafe levels. I was like 110 or something like that, total cholesterol. Not from my perspective now, I'd rather have more cholesterol, to be straight up with you. Fruity Ronster. Yeah, Fruity Ronster. All these people. They're like characters, man. Like Sesame Street. Sesame Street characters, man. They're fake. They're not real. Yeah. So I had good blood tests, but my performance sucked. So who cares about who cares about blood tests even? I couldn't gain muscle mass. I was on blood sugar roller coaster. My belly was getting fat. Go watch my video where I talk about my juicing, before and after juicing. That will show you my belly. I had a big old insulin gut, man. I was so skinny fat. Go look at how gross my body looked. I didn't weigh much more than I weigh right now. Totally different physique. Eating how I do now compared to then. Yeah, who cares what your blood tests say if you're dying? Like, half the things that people go to the emergency room for or the doctors for to begin with, like, they don't even know what's wrong with them. They're just taking guesses and they give you a bunch of medication. It's just a piece of the picture, man. Brett, Evan took his video down about quitting veganism. I didn't know that. So you're saying that none of it proves I'm in an optimal state. You're taking a relative position, but none of that demonstrates an optimal state. Okay, so how do I put this? If objectively speaking, you're performing better, aka you're getting stronger, the weights are going up, the body composition is looking better, you're feeling better, you have more energy throughout the day, Your libido's up. All these health markers are up. And then you go take blood tests and those look good, right? How can you not say that this diet is more optimal than the other diet? I don't understand that. ZB Fruity, just make sure your cholesterol doesn't get dangerous. The new science, the new interpretation of the data is showing us that cholesterol is not a key indicator for heart disease. A much more important ratio or numbers to look at is your triglyceride to HDL ratio, which, by the way, vegans have a very high number of. I understand that Durian Rider's number was 2.3. Vegan Zombie posts his blood test. He's 2.6. 3.0 is where you're basically in the danger zone of a heart attack. And these long-term vegans have high triglyceride to HDL ratios. That's not me saying that. That's what the latest evidence is saying. Fruity Ronsters, it true you poop once every 5 days. You probably shit 3 times a day, and you think that's amazing. You're full of shit, literally, all day long. Hey, thanks, Salome. I feel good, man. I look good and I feel good right now. I just got to be flat out about that. Let's see here. LDL size. Yeah, there's some talk about LDL size and all this other stuff. I think that there's still a lot more to be understood about that, but the current understanding of what heart disease really is a inflammation caused by sugar, elevated blood sugar levels, and then cholesterol comes through and tries to repair that damage. And then the cholesterol is what gets lodged into and stuck into the arteries. And over time, that keeps creating more and more damage. And obviously, we get arterial blockage and messed up arteries. That's the current understanding of it. So vegans that are pumping their blood sugar all day long by grazing all day long, they're not doing themselves any favors. Okay. All right, guys. I think I'm going to end it here. I am happy that we had this talk today. I'm thankful for all of you guys showing up. Keep participating. Keep showing up. I am going to do another interview this week with Jonathan Irizarry, so stay tuned for that. I'm not sure the exact day. Would I ever try eating a more plant-based diet? Dude, I did. I was a vegan for 4.5 years. What are you talking about? Yeah, okay. So anyways, thanks again, guys. Today I felt was a great performance from both of us, but we'll keep it up, man. We'll keep it up. And yeah, this is an evolving situation, and I love to continue talking about this stuff. Oh, John Rose. Oh, baby. I got some thoughts on John Rose. Oh yeah. I'm thinking about making a video about that. It's gonna be a shit slinging fest, to be straight up with you. John Rose has blocked me from his channel. I made one comment the other day, right when he made a new video. He took my comment down, or sorry, he hid my comment from the channel. Trust me, I got some things to say. I've spoken to the man on the phone as well, twice. Spherage, I don't know, man. He's crazy. What can I say? I don't really agree with his form of protesting or activism, just like I don't agree with vegans' form of protesting and activism, to be honest with you. All right. We're shutting it down, guys. Thanks again. Stay tuned for the new content. And by the way, if any of you do want to reach out to me and get coached by me specifically, personally, hit me up on Instagram at Drew Morg. That is where you can find me. That is where we can do some video consultations. And I've been helping some people out and they've been getting some good results. So if you need a more personalized touch, reach out to me there, okay? And we'll talk later. See you guys. Thanks again.